Hello, everyone. Hello. Hi, everybody, and welcome to tomorrow's show with Spreaker Podcast Radio. Hi. I miss you guys. I hope everybody, please listen to this very nice show. I have a special guest with me today. So you guys make sure you're following, like, subscribe to tomorrow's show on Spreaker Podcast Radio. And you can also follow me on tomorrow's daily life on YouTube. So please follow. So that way you can get all my notifications as soon as I publish something new. So without further ado, you guys, I wanted to introduce my guest today who came in and blessed me with his presence. We have Tony here. Tony Jones, and he's here to talk to me about his life and second chances, which I've titled this episode because I think this episode is just so wonderful, and his story is so wonderful, and how he's been given a second chance at life, and the way he's turned his life around is so great. And I just am so glad to welcome him to the show. Tony, thank you for coming. And we are live on 2 platforms. Not only are we live here, you guys, but we are live on my podcast on tomorrow's show. So if you don't have my podcast, please download it and follow. So hit that follow, hit that like, so that way you get all my notifications when I get something new like this episode. So Tony, thank you. Welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Glad you could come.
Good.
How you feeling today?
Oh, I feel energetic, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was anticipating you coming to the show, and I'm so glad you came. I heard a little bit about your story from another client of mine who I'll be interviewing, who I'm sure is a colleague of yours,
right.
/ friend, who you guys are kind of, work on some projects together.
Right.
So I don't want to spoil that. But I'd like you to kind of give me your life testimony and what led you to your wonderful mentoring program, and kind of walk us and the listeners and the viewers, kind of give us a walkthrough of your life, and starting from, because I know you told me a little bit, bits and pieces, but I would really, and I'm sure our listeners, whoever listening on, and there's somebody, Kay, from the UK is listening, and we have someone who's saying hello already. Doing? Hi. So we just came on live. Hi, Kay. So please start with your I'd like you to start from when you were how you grew up and the things you went through and what led you to this wonderful program.
Okay. Well, I'm from Bridgeton, from Portsmouth, and I went to Parkview Elementary School.
So born and raised right here in Virginia. Portsmouth.
Right.
Okay. Your family?
My family, my mother's a nurse at the time, and my dad, my stepdad, he was in the military, he was in the Navy.
Oh, okay.
Right.
How long did he serve?
He served the whole over 20 years.
Oh, well, thank you for your service.
Right.
All right. So you grew up a military brat.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. That's the word, military brat. Didn't know what that meant back in the days, but now I remember.
Now you.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, being that your stepdad was your stepdad, you're saying, right?
My stepdad.
Okay. Was in the service. Mm-hmm. Were you said you were moving? Were you moving all around, or did you guys pretty much stay put here? And
we actually, one time we moved to Pascagoula, Mississippi, when I was in the 4th grade, and
Pascagoula.
Yeah. Don't know how to spell it.
That's a name.
Yeah. And I was in the 4th grade there, and that's the only time that we actually moved, with my dad.
Was it an integrated community?
Where we lived at, yeah. But a lot of military people stayed in that area we was at.
Oh, so it was a base there?
No, it was a base in the next city over.
Oh, okay.
The next city over.
And you said you were in the 4th grade then?
Right, I was in the 4th grade.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And I stayed there for the duration of the 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And we came back home and my mother had rented the house out at the time. We maintained our same house, the same house. And from there, I just came back, and got back in school, you know, and went to the 5th grade, and then the 6th grade. Graduated from elementary school, then went to junior high school, and then from there, I went to high school. And when I went to high school, everything changed, you know.
How so?
Well, you know, it's like a wool on. It had like a wool over my eyes because I'm not seeing the actual things I'm actually seeing now because I'm older now, and there's not a lot of restrictions on me now, you know. So therefore, I can leave the house now, you know, without no lease on, you know. Just be back at a certain time.
Okay.
But don't go to this particular place though. Just don't come back at this time. Right.
Okay.
So
you were how old at this point?
This time about 15.
Okay,
about
so
15.
you were about 15, and
about 15.
So no restrictions.
No restrictions.
At 15.
Just got to be back home at a certain time.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So.
It's definitely different from men to women than little girls and boys because you were a boy. So.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So at this time,
I'm sure your sister wouldn't have that.
Oh no. Exactly. So I was on a bike. Just riding my bike, you know, through all the different neighborhoods. I ain't got no restrictions. Nobody know what I'm doing but me. And I found myself in the neighborhoods that I heard about them, but now I'm in them. And I knew people was in these neighborhoods. And next thing you know,
what kind of neighborhoods?
Well, these was projects.
These
were projects. These was low housing. You know, where people sell drugs and all types of stuff going out there. And I worked at the same time. I worked at the McDonald's, and I'm looking at the money they was making versus how much I get paid every 2 weeks. You know, I get paid every 2 weeks, maybe $200 some dollars, $180 or something like that. But
and these are the guys, your friends, who you were hanging around.
Right, they was making this and
bring out this roll, bankroll.
They pull out a little bankroll and show what they made within the last 30 minutes or an hour, and it was what I made.
Very tempting.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Oh, and okay, so it was what you made
in 2 weeks.
They made in an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
So
grief.
They were like, man, once you get down with us, man, you know, man, you got your own money and stuff. You know, you can buy all this stuff, man. You make your own money. So I didn't accept it at first. You know, man, I just kept going out there and seeing it with my own eyes. But at the same time, it was so much crazy stuff because this is the 80s now, and this is when crack first hit. Portsmouth, and hit only one neighborhood first.
Hit hard.
Right, and this neighborhood it hit hard, and I can remember those days. You know, you had a lot of people from out of town, especially like New York. People came down with the drugs, and they came to one neighborhood, and they had all the drugs, and all these same guys who came down, they was young too. Because if I was 15, they couldn't be no more than 18 or 19 themselves. You know, they were a couple years older than me, but they're a long way from home, but they still, you know, trying to make a dollar. You know, and I remember maybe a couple of weeks after that, I ended up having stuff in my hand. And every day I would go to work or go hustle, sometimes both at the same time. And I was doing this for a long time, you know, a long time.
So while you were doing this, where exactly was your mom and your dad?
My mom, she was working, you know, maintaining the house. My dad went to work every day. You know, he was maintaining the house too. And you know, at that time, like I say, I lived in a middle class neighborhood. We lived in a nice neighborhood, so nothing goes wrong in my neighborhood. There ain't no selling no drugs, nothing like that. It's just okay. Now when I go home, she don't look at me as a person would be doing these particular things because we don't. To her mind, we don't have to do that because there's food in the house and so on and so forth. But
okay, so it wasn't something that she was ever suspicious of you doing.
Not me. You know, like I was saying earlier, my brother, he tried to sell drugs and he couldn't do it because he just messed everything up. You know, he just.
And you learned in essence from his mistakes, really.
Right. He would bring drugs to my mother's house and she would find them and kick them out and stuff like that. And you know, and it was just hard. It'd be hard on me because she would tell me, "Don't be like him," and so on and so on and so forth. And I was like, "Yeah, right." And at the same time, you know, he was just being real. Like he wasn't thinking. I look at it because you know you don't want to bring that stuff in my mom's house like that, you know. And whatever you're doing outside, you're supposed to just stop. It don't go inside the door. So, but he didn't.
So he was definitely foolish.
He was definitely foolish, and he was, and I learned from him.
So in essence, your mom kind of was telling you don't be like him,
Right.
and she wasn't really knowing that she was really, that you really took that to heart.
Exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, I know not to be like him. I'm not going to get caught like him. I'm not going to do these same things.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And she really didn't even know that that's what.
Yeah. Because my brother went to jail 3 times before I went to jail. 3 times. One time he went to jail for like 17 months. Another time he went for like 25 months. And the last time he got something like 9 or 10 years. And the last time, it was resonated with him that he wasn't going to try to do this no more. Because that 10-year scratch done something to him. You know.
Where is he at now?
Now he's you wouldn't believe the job he's running now. He's a superintendent at a emergency response service. He runs it.
Wow, way to go, man! What a good way to turn your life around.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Man, that is awesome. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so what happened next?
So, 8th grade, you know, like I was telling you, I'm hustling, I go to work, and saving my money. I'm still working, you know, playing sports too. I'm doing all these different things, and the money got bigger, and I'm used to this way of life because it's easy for me now. But it wasn't easy, but it's easy for me now because I had to learn everything, and the money. Like,
so who was your? I mean, was there like? You had older guys showing you the ropes of how to, you know, hustle this money and where to hide it, and I mean, where did you learn these strategies from?
Well, remember I told you I watched my brother, and I watched what not to do. So I got a little bit of glimpse of what not to do from him. But at the same time, as the other older dudes that was in the projects, I would just pick and choose things they would do and say, and I wouldn't let them know I'm doing it. I'm taking a visual of what they're doing. I'll just take a visual of what they're doing, and then actually, I take it back to my head and make assessment like, okay, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that at a young age. And next thing you know, I just remember people saying, like, for example, I remember one guy said, man, if I get this $10,000, man, I can make $100,000. You know, he's talking to another older person. I'm young at the time. They don't even look at me even comprehending that conversation, but they don't know. I'm full force.
Like a sponge.
Yeah.
When you're taking it all in.
Yeah, and I think I was 15, 16 years old.
You were in it all the way live, and they didn't even know it.
They haven't a clue. They had a clue.
That's how well you hit it.
Right. And I remember conversations like that because at that time I'm still hustling, but I'm hustling on a small scale. These other persons, they actually hustling on a small scale, but I just didn't know they were hustling on a small scale because they was out there every day, and they looked nice versus me. I'm just looking average, and I'm not buying. I'm not spending my money. I'm not doing anything. I'm saving my money. So I'm stashing money over here. I'm stashing money over here because I can't take it home. And it got to a point that I knew this lady was going to renovate her house, so I had to go get all my money up and hide it somewhere else because I couldn't take it home.
How much at this point would you say?
At what age?
When you had to get all your money up together.
Okay. And
how old were you then at that point?
This was about 16 years old. I probably had about almost $20,000, about something like that.
At 16.
At 16.
You had almost $20,000.
Of my money. That was my money. That's not including the money that just came through my hands. That was my money. Yeah, mine. That was my money.
So you really didn't spend.
I won't spend no money because when you have a goal, see, a lot of things I learned from my family it's like I took it and I had it, like, for example, have a goal, have something to look forward to. When I was told these things, then at the same time I'm seeing what's going on there. That was my goal. So I'm looking forward to a certain amount of money.
What was your goal?
To make $100,000.
Okay, so your goal, your ultimate goal was, and when you made that, what was the goal after that? To make this $100,000 and do what? Run
my own business.
And you were thinking this way at 16? At 16. Run your own business doing what?
Well, that didn't even resonate with me. Just having enough money to run my own business. Didn't know what type of business was going to be. Just have.
But you knew that you wanted to.
Right.
Be your own boss.
Right.
And have your own business.
Right.
Okay.
I didn't like the fact that my mother had to work so hard. I didn't like none of that stuff because my mother had to work hard for little as not to just make ends meet and to have food in the house. Didn't like that at all. Didn't like it because I remember the days she'd be hurting, her legs be cramping up or something like that. So I know that she still got to do this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell her, Mom, I got money over here because she couldn't do that. But I knew at some point I said I'm gonna make this $100,000 and I'm gonna run my own business and I'm gonna help my mother out because I don't like her working like this. I don't like it.
And this is what you were doing at 16?
15. Actually 15.
Oh, 15.
15.
Okay.
And around 17, it was just money was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And
so around how much would you say you brought in at that point?
I'm probably halfway there. I'm probably at the ages almost when I'm graduating. I'm probably almost about 50 or 60 when I'm about to graduate.
$50,000 or $60,000 at 17.
Right.
You had just.
Yeah, and then like I said, it's not in my mother's house. I gotta have money here and there, buried here and there.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
And it was just when I sit back and look at this, you
Mm-hmm.
know, basically when you make me talking about it, I'm talking about it. I'd be like, wow, you know. But those was the days, you know, because when you're motivated, you want your own, and you want by all means you want to get your own. You just go for. I just went full force, you know. And then when I graduated, it's just like $100,000 was nothing. It was nothing. You can make $100,000 like it ain't nothing because I already have it now. I can make it like this now. It's my money. Nobody else's money. It's mine. It was just like that. And the next thing you know, now they get you to the point that you would give people money they don't deserve it, and then you would give people loan people this. And to this day, those situations made me a better man because, you know, you heard people say, I can't loan you no money like this. This
Mm-hmm.
not would be a bad investment for me because you're not gonna pay me back.
Right.
But those days,
Always heard, don't loan anything you expect to get back.
yeah, those days I didn't have that understanding.
Right.
I just figure word of mouth. A person that's gonna do something, they'll keep their word.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
That didn't happen.
no, a lot of times.
So you were, in essence, giving,
Giving.
but not really.
Yeah. And at
It
the same
wasn't
time,
giving back.
and it wasn't giving back, but at the same time, I wasn't losing because of what? I'm still making the same money just like that over and over and over. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm knowing.
But
that
since you're giving and giving, though,
Right.
at the same time, that means a lot of people are knowing more and more that you have money.
Right.
So did that make you a target?
Not probably so in essence, but at the same time is, you know, being at a younger age, like I was saying, like when I used to go out to projects, you know, people gonna try people if they figure they can try you and get away with it. But being in the streets like that, when I had encounters with people and not being a person that fool, you know, me at a young age, the person I don't try that little young dude because he not gonna go for it, you know. So. Anybody gonna you gonna be a target anyway when you make money like that, but it wasn't. Nobody ever voiced it like that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Nobody never did that.
Okay.
Nobody did that.
Did you ever get robbed?
Now, when I was that age, I was I think I was about 16, and I think I was 16, and I'm at the projects. I don't got nothing in my pocket, and the person the way how you put a gun out on me, it was. I'm out there to get somebody to test something.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, this dude come out of nowhere with a shotgun telling me to give it up. I ain't got no money in my pocket. At all. I had no money in my at all. And I was so headstrong, like I took the gun and kept smacking it out of the dude's hand. Like smacking it out of my face. He had a gun like this, but when a person's pointing at you, automatically you got a reaction like, man, move that out of my face, man. And I kept doing that. I told him I ain't got no money, I ain't got nothing. Because I didn't. You know, and the dude like, man, you better test this again, man. And I hit it again because I just didn't like the fact that this person pointed a gun in my hand.
Oh, wow.
And then he pointed toward that way, and shot, and I ran. I was about 16 years old. Yeah, about 16. Cause I didn't have it. And this was.
But The fact that you were smacking.
Yeah, I couldn't take the gun in my face like that. I mean, it's just automatic reaction. It's just a reaction because you don't know what a person's gonna do. So therefore,
you just wanted to hurry up and move it out.
Every time you point out, just make it out of my face, man. It's just a reaction. You know, so that was about 16 years old. Yeah.
But had you not moved it that last time, he would have shot you.
I actually think just because I had some type of what's the word? Not going for anything, that he felt like I can't keep trying this because he's not intimidated. Now you got to reverse as a person who you point the gun at, and the next thing you know, the boy like, man, I mean, that person started following the command, doing this and doing that. Then he feel like he's in control. But by me saying get the gun out my face, he's not in control.
Okay.
So now his way was out where I point the gun that way and shooting, and then thinking I'm gonna still stay there. But no, you done shot, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I was 16 years old.
16 years old when that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened next in your life?
So after that, I got so much money now. I done graduated. I graduated.
And you moved your money.
Yeah.
Where did you move it to?
I went and bought me a place.
Okay.
Got a place. Put my money in my house now. And I'm just used to this life now. And I'm making more money and more money. And more
Were you
money.
still working?
No.
So you even stopped working?
Yeah, stopped working. Yeah. And I made an attempt to buy a house. You know what I mean? This how you know when you're young, you just do things foolishness. Because I remember I had a family member who had a house, and it was on the foreclosure, and it was like I'm gonna lose it. I mean, you can go and get it. You know, all you gotta do is pay whatever it was. I forgot what it was. Probably about $12,000, something like that. Out of what's that, and then give her the amount of money she had already had equity in it. So I gave her maybe about 20 or 30, and she like, the house yours. But at the same time, it was still under her name. See how young I was and didn't know no better? So now, as time goes on, I'm giving her to pay the bills. Guess what? She ain't even paying the bills. That was an investment that I looked at when I was young and didn't pay off. I was probably 19, 18 years old at the time. And,
she was just keeping the money.
Just keeping the money. Until the people showed up in the house, were like, "Wow, this house is on the foreclosure." I said, "Foreclosure? It's impossible."
Because you were giving the money,
right,
so that you could buy the house.
Right. I done gave her the equity to the house, and then went to the bank myself with her brother, and we got everything paid up to the square, and the people just looking and like, okay, but it stayed in her name. But she wasn't living there. She done moved somewhere else because the house was gone. She knew the house was being foreclosed. Yeah. These are life experiences that I learned that was priceless, that I will never forget.
So thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah, that was about
$50,000 gone.
Yeah.
$50,000.
Yeah, that was gone. Like,
Some people, that's like more than, some people don't even make that in a year. $50,000. And you just paid that cash, I'm assuming, for this house. Didn't end up with it. So after you left the house, then what happened next to you?
Well, I actually, like after I left that house, I went looking for another place, and I got hooked up with another person, another person, and the little money. It's like that was some money. Here's another episode, and this is went way enormous in this situation over here, and it got to the point that one day I was talking to one of the guy. He was like, I told him, man, you can't come to a place like this. He said, you don't supposed to be seeing a place like this. It didn't resonate because, like I said, I was
now what place? What kind of place was it?
Places, just places that places like the normal parties and the normal places. You're like, yo, you're not supposed to be in a place like this. You're like, because you got too much money, you're not supposed to be in a place like this. And it didn't resonate with me until I was like, yeah, it's kind of right, but I'm still young though. But this is the person that I kind of look up to. But at the same time, he telling me this. Like, you don't supposed to be out here. You don't supposed to go in a place like this. You know, and I was like, oh yeah. I'm like, nah, man. And one day I was out of projects and got shot. You know, it was a cookout. And
so explain to us how that happened.
well, to this day, okay, I was out there. It was at that time I was having cookouts in my neighborhood, and these cookouts we was having them like every other day. It was in the summertime.
Okay.
And it would be 500 people, 1,000 people. They was come.
Oh, wow.
And
that many people?
Yeah. And then next thing you know, other neighborhoods try to do the same thing.
Okay. So was this like a normal thing?
No, it's not a normal thing.
Oh.
No. This was.
Why would there be so many people?
Well, it's free. Everything is free. Everything. When I say everything.
Free.
Free.
Oh, no wonder why so many people.
Right.
Black folks, you know, we come
right.
with free food now.
So you might
we like free food.
Exactly. So you got imagine we got to cook out all the food free, all the drink free, everything is out there.
So
free.
who's paying for this food?
Me. And a normal cookout probably costs maybe about $3,500 or $4,000, and we're doing it every day or every other day, like because remember it's summertime, you know, so.
So you were paying for all this food every day.
Yeah.
For people just to come and eat for free.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right.
Whoever wanted to get food, they can come get some food.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And
okay.
The cookouts was nice. So everybody always talk about the cookouts from Pop View guys. And everybody was then next thing you know, other neighborhoods would try to mimic them, but they could never mimic it because the money wasn't long enough. So it was like, you know, everybody would always talk about, man, they cook out, ain't got nothing on y'all. You know what I mean? This old phony cookout. And one time, next thing you know, I ended up going out to the projects and they're having a cookout, you know, and next thing you know, I'm shot.
Where exactly?
I got shot. You know, one in here, one in here. Got to get cut out right here. One skip here. And one hit, one in here, came out there. 4 right here, and 1 right here.
Wait, did you say 4?
Yeah.
4 what?
Bullets on my side.
So 4 bullets.
Yeah. Yeah.
What kind of bullets?
9mm.
You got shot 4 times with a 9mm.
Got shot 8 times.
Wait,
four
but 4
right
went on the side.
Right.
So 8 times all at one time.
Right.
4 on the side, so your side of yours, so that the listeners can hear exactly who are not watching.
Yeah.
So the 4 went on the right side of your abdomen, and then where did the other 4 hit? Explain that in detail so that the listeners can hear exactly
one went in
where.
Here, and then had to get
So
cut out here.
Oh wow! So it went in your right arm, your wrist, really, and then came, a little bit above your wrist, and came out.
They had to cut it out there.
Oh, they cut it out at your wrist.
Right.
So one there, and then another one hit your arm.
Another one has hit here. Boom. Went that way.
Oh, and did it come out, or did that get lodged in?
No,
it came out over there.
It's just like a gaze.
Oh, okay.
Like that.
So
the other one went in and out here.
Your elbow.
Yeah. And then another one went here.
Your hip.
And then the other one, the 4 over there.
And 4 on your side.
Right.
So 8 total shots.
Right.
At this barbecue.
Right. And I didn't know who shot me. And here I am.
The fact that you are sitting here today, talking about 8 times being shot. The only person I know who got shot like that was Tupac when he got shot with the first time, the 5 times or something, and then
Right.
But 8.
8 times. And I remember.
And live to tell about it. Now, after you got shot, can you explain what was happening?
Well, I remember I was in intensive care for a while because that's how my mom would tell me, and I remember the doctor coming in the first day I was conscious. First day he said, either that guy couldn't shoot or God was with you. He said because not one bullet hit a vital organ.
Praise God.
He said not one bullet. Now the bullet he talked about that really stood out. He said that bullet that went here, that came out here. He said a centimeter. If it hit a blood vessel, then your arm had been amputated. He said, but none of the bullets hit anything. When he said
even the 4 that hit you in the stomach, the side, none of them hit any major organs.
None of them.
How does that happen?
Like the man said, he had but two examples. Either that guy couldn't shoot or God was with you.
Well, I do believe it had to be the good Lord that was with you that afternoon.
And he said
because
that to me.
8 times and none of them hit any vital organs.
No.
Tony, that is incredible.
Yeah. Now the thing about it is, it put me down now. I had to learn how to get strong again and walk again. But none of my organs have been...
when did you come to? Because I'm sure once you got shot 8 times, I'm sure you were out. And because when you came to, you were in the hospital. Yeah. How long had you been in there at that point?
About 2 weeks. 2 weeks old. I know some weeks.
Okay. So you were... Okay.
I was under...
like in a coma?
Yeah, I probably was in...
a drug-induced coma, probably?
Yeah. And that's when the first conversation was said, or I was heard when the doctor said, either that guy couldn't shoot or God was with you. That's the first conversation I heard.
And how old were you at this point?
Like maybe 20, maybe 21. I think I was 21.
21. Yeah. Shot 8 times.
Yeah.
Woke up. So what was the last thing you remember being at that barbecue before this?
I remember being on the ground. I was blood everywhere and I couldn't move. And I remember the guys with me. They wasn't with me. I knew them. They picked me up, put me in the car, and took me to the hospital. And
you remember that?
I remember that, and I remember they panicking, and
what was going through your mind? Do you remember what was going through your mind at that time? What was going through your mind at that time, Tony?
When that time, I'm sitting here looking at how they panicking. It was like some off a TV show.
Was it kind of like an outer body experience? Like this is happening to somebody else and not you?
It's happening to me. I
what did you feel?
I remember when I remember my glasses fell off. And I remember they pushed me through the double doors. When they pushed me through the double doors, it's like I'm losing my air now. I'm losing air. And I just remember like a gush of air I started breathing again because I couldn't. It's like I was about to stop breathing. I don't know what that was.
But, so you felt that?
I felt that. Yeah, I just felt that.
What was going through your mind? Did you think? Did you say? Was it like, this is it? I'm gone.
Yeah, that happened when I was out there on the ground.
Okay. So that happened then. You were like,
then.
This is it.
Right.
I'm not gonna make it past this.
And then the same time is I'm still conscious. So they done took some type of tube.
The breathing tube.
They done put it down my whole throat.
And you were still conscious even at that point.
Right. Now only I can see.
You were conscious at that point when they put that down?
No, I can say that I'm conscious, but I remember I had my eyes open looking at my family when it's in my mouth, when it's all down. I can't talk because
you were looking at everybody.
I was looking at everybody. And I can't say nothing because the thing is so big that it stops up your voice from saying anything.
Mm-hmm.
So all I do is like this, like that. I see my mom, my dad. I remember seeing my mom and my dad. I don't remember seeing nobody else.
And you remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
At what point did you close your eyes?
Probably had
after that?
They had to probably induce me with something.
Okay, because you were like up.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to put some type of drills in there, something.
Okay.
Because at the same time as my hands are also strapped to the bed because
it's amazing that you remember such details.
Yeah, because I just remember all that. And then after
so you were strapped down, and the last thing you remember is looking up at your mom and dad.
Right. Yeah.
So close your eyes.
And the first thing I heard was either that guy couldn't shoot or God was with you. That's the first conversation I heard.
Did it feel like you were asleep in essence? Asleep for 2 weeks or several weeks? You're not. I'm sure. You're
I
not
would
sure
never know until my mother told me.
Did it feel like that?
I would have never knew until they told me how long. You know, they were like, you were just care for a week or two, and
Did it just feel like you were sleeping?
No, you just don't remember.
Or was it just like something you just don't remember?
Don't remember that at all.
No conscious state of mind, like your mind was still.
Either I'm thinking
I've
that. Let's think about that night.
Like even though you were gone, was your mind still? If you can remember, no.
I just look at it that day. That day they had me on. Like I'm pretty sure they gave me some type of drug to actually to make me calm down because I'm so like he's only got shot 8 times and he's not panicking. He's not doing such and such. What's going on with him? You know, I mean, he can talk. He have a conversation with you. But I'm anticipating this is what the doctors are, and so that's why the 2 went down my arm throat and they put the scraps on it. You know, because like man,
because you were still like trying to talk,
trying to talk and everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
After being shot 8 times.
I was shot 8 times.
Now, was this in the evening or was this an afternoon barbecue? I'm just curious what time of day.
This was about 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night.
Okay. So it was dark outside, and now were these shots intended for you? 8 times. Yeah. That seems like that was pretty intent on you. Was anybody else targeted there?
No.
Just you.
Just me.
So, what was going on? Why was that targeted towards you?
Well,
why did they shoot you 8 times?
When I you know, maybe you know after I woke up and I started seeing people and people like who shot you? I was like, I don't know who shot me. You know what I mean? Like y'all supposed to know that. I've been in here.
Because your boys, how many friends did you have?
Nobody came.
Who were there?
It was about 5 or 6 people there, but nobody came with me. I came by myself. When I left, when I got shot, my car stayed out there that night probably, or whatever, because I came by myself.
Oh, okay. So so you didn't ride there with anybody.
No.
You just went.
Right.
So you didn't have your boys really there.
I didn't. I you know, they was there on their own, you know, but I came with there by myself.
So do you think it was a setup?
No, it was just, you know, certain people just start hating on people for no reason, and I honestly think that was just a good example of that right there. Because to this day, when I got in the car that night, when they took me to the hospital, they said, "Who shot you?" I said, "I don't know," because I didn't have no altercation or argument with nobody. You know, I'm like, I don't know who shot me.
But, you know, as the saying goes, and like I just seen a gentleman on Facebook say that, you know, people, not necessarily people who are in your corner are riding for you, or, you know, for you, just because they are in your corner.
Right.
So you never know who was doing this and smiling in your face, but all the while, not really, exactly.
Right.
The intent.
Right.
To have what you had.
Exactly.
Obviously was there. So you woke up and did you have family, friends?
Family. It was my family was there. All my family was there and friends, and to the point that there was too many people kept coming. And I remember one of the nurses said, "Who are you? Why everybody?" And I was like, "I ain't nobody." I'm telling the nurse that. Yeah.
Because there was a lot of people who were coming.
Right, a lot of people came. A lot of people, and they wouldn't stop coming. They wouldn't stop. And
why is that?
You know, growing up, you know, I was never a selfish person. I was never stingy.
It seems like you were really giving.
Yeah. So
I mean, you fed the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, plenty of times. And I was never. You could never ask me for nothing, and you know I had it. I said I don't have it, because I'm lying to you if I said I don't have it. Because you know I haven't. You have to burn your bridge with me versus the other way around. So you
definitely are a very giving person.
Yeah.
Seems like you would give a person your last.
I would give
to make sure that they're okay. Because look at what you were doing with your money every day, dropping thousands of dollars just to feed
whole community. I didn't even
your
look
community.
at it like I didn't even look at it like that, but that's
'Cause
exactly what I was doing.
Exactly what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were spending thousands of dollars to feed your community.
Yeah, sure was.
You know, and that in your community, you know, I'm sure you know there was people who were struggling, who, you know, couldn't feed their own children, who couldn't, you know, so as I'm sure there was homeless people who were probably coming up and getting plates. There was children who were hungry. There was adults who were hungry.
Yeah.
You fed your whole community.
Yeah. Many times I couldn't even name
So
it.
even though you got that money hustling, you still were doing something great
Right.
with it.
Right. Yeah.
And that was definitely feeding those who probably really needed it. You know, not everyone, but
Yeah.
there was a lot of people in that community because you said hundreds of people were there.
Yeah.
So there was out of that hundreds, I guarantee you, there was people there, families there who really needed that
I remember
food.
occasion when you saying redneck, like just having a flashback. I remember a lady, and I remember she was acting like she was like being secretive, or like she was getting food and stuff like that, as if nobody's watching her, because I'm sitting here, she don't know
And
who
she was
yeah,
trying to get,
right,
yeah.
right. She
Mhm.
don't know I'm giving a party, but at the same time, and she thinking that if I seen her, that she wouldn't be welcome, and nobody's monitoring the table now. But I can remember her how she was getting it, like she didn't want nobody to see her, like
Yeah, like
it's
kind of
for
like,
y'all.
oh,
It's
yeah,
for y'all.
because people aren't used to that.
Yeah.
You know, people aren't used to someone so giving.
Yeah,
You know, and then especially if you're hungry
right.
and you need food, especially to feed your children, because you
Right.
may have been a mother.
Right.
You know, and just to see all that food, and you know, we in day and age, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Life is hard.
Sure is. And I didn't, but like I said, people in my community, if they needed something, I would do it. You know what I mean? I remember paying phone bills, I remember paying utility bills, stuff like that, you know. But I just looked at it as if somebody needs an extended hand, you know. I couldn't tell you I didn't have it, because you know I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to lie to you. So I said, here, I got
So
it.
you had definitely a hard time saying no.
Yeah. Ask me now.
You
though.
did not want to
Ask
tell
me
people
now.
no.
Ask me now.
What you say? Ask me,
Ask me now.
now you don't have a problem at all with
I
it.
had no problem. I had to go through some things first.
Right. Yeah, and definitely. So, how did that change you
Well,
when you got out? So, or did you change when you got out the hospital? Because you spent a long time in the hospital recovering, right? You said you had to learn how to walk or walk again.
right. Yeah, legs was weak. I had to learn how to walk again and go to a rehab. And start.
You were in the hospital because you were in the hospital for how long?
6 months. About 6 months.
6. Whew.
From the Riverview into a rehab. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
And you
6 months. Okay, so really a year recovering
Yeah.
from
being shot.
being shot 8 times at a barbecue. Was this person ever caught?
Yeah. This same night.
How?
This same night, this individual who shot me fell asleep at the wheel with the gun and everything in his car. Good type of stuff is that.
The same night?
Same night.
No.
The same night he got
The same night?
The same night he drive off wherever he drove at.
Was he drunk?
High, drunk, and everything, whatever the case may be. And when the police pulled up on him, his foot was on the brake or something. I don't know if the foot was on the brake or he don't put it in park, but he was in a place that he don't supposed to park at, whether it be at a stop sign or wherever. He was asleep. And they knocked on the door, knocked on the window, and then he woke up. And this same person actually also made up a lie, and when I was arrested by the federal government, and saying that I threatened him that night.
And that's why.
Didn't happen.
So
That's
he's
why
saying that's why he did what he did.
Right.
Because you had threatened.
Exactly, and it never happened. So he ended up coming to.
So he got arrested. He's in jail.
He's in jail.
At this point, when you were recovering,
Right.
He's in jail.
Right.
So once you recovered, what was life like for you?
Well, I didn't want to hustle no more. I didn't want to hustle more because I this right here I was never expecting something like this to happen, and it just didn't see. I didn't see anything. I didn't see it like I used to see it. I was like tired of people. I didn't want to be around nobody. None of that stuff. You know. Like,
So in your mind, you were saying, I'm done. I'm done with this life. I'm done with hustling. I don't want to be, affiliated with any of that
none of that.
any longer.
Nope.
So then what happened?
At that time, I told I started looking to go to this contracting school,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually got into the contracting school, and at the same while I'm in contracting school, here come my one of my guys I know for the past, and he's like, yo, I got all this, I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with it. And
Oh man. Says, wow, Tony, you were shot 8 times and they never hit a major organ. This is Kay from the UK,
yeah,
all the way from England.
yeah, all the way from England.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And she is commenting and saying 8 times.
8 times, right. Yeah. Get even deeper than that. So that's hold on, Kay.
Yeah. Hold on, Kay.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out what's happening next, because this is a very interesting story. So I hope you guys are enjoying Tony and he sharing such dramatic life. But please continue. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow and like and subscribe.
So I came in contact with an old friend of mine, and he was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm like,
so who was this friend? Who was this a friend who you were hustling with like back in the day? Or who was this guy who
it's like
just came?
People, it's like this. When you make a certain amount of money,
Mm-hmm.
it's like y'all seek each other out. You find each other. You don't. Certain people find each other. This how it is. I can explain it. Because y'all have the same type of money.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all do certain type of things.
Okay.
Y'all gonna come across each other.
So you're kind of running in the same circle, kind
The
of.
circle is real small. It's not big.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And at the same time, it's just y'all gonna find some way somewhere y'all gonna come in contact. So I had met him some years before, and I came in contact with him again, and I'm still recovering,
Mm-hmm.
and I ain't thinking about hustling no more. Nothing like that. Like I got all this, I don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I said, man, I'm through, man. I ain't doing that, man. He's like, man, what am I supposed to do with it?
How did he take that when you?
Well, he just
were
think I'm just having a
kind of turning
conversation.
him down?
He think I'm having a conversation. So, like, man, I don't know nobody. You know what I mean? Other than you, man. So, we talked. And next thing you know, he was like, man, what can you do with it? And next thing you know, like, I'll tell you what, man. I said, meet me. I told him give me a couple days.
No, you didn't.
Told him meet me, and next thing you know, it was just like that. Make $100,000 in 2-3 days, like that.
So you told him to meet you,
I said,
and
meet me.
you
I
helped
said,
him push that.
Right. And next thing you know,
So the life you were trying to stay away from sucked you right back in.
Right at your door. And
So
to the point I don't have money.
after you did that,
Yeah.
he gave you a percentage of that, I'm sure.
Oh, that was just one. I said I could make $100,000 in a couple of days. It was way more money than that. She was like, man, I don't know. He's like, I just told you, he said, I don't know what to do with it. He said, I don't know what to do with it. So I said, let me see what it is, and I get back with you. And I seen what it is, and we came up with an agreement. And next thing you know, it was on, and I made mine out of it. He made his. I got arrested at the same time, but I still had all my money.
Okay, so wait, so you got arrested how long after you helped him?
Maybe about 3 about 3 months. So it was basically all of it was gone, maybe just a little bit, but all of it was gone. We made a rack of money. Yeah.
How did you get arrested?
I got arrested because I got shot. They said, "How did we get in contact with? How did you come on investigation? Because you got shot. No other way. You've been on the radar for so long. Nobody knew who you was. Nobody." And when I went to trial, when I was going to trial, I had 17 people that testified against me, and I had
17
people in the streets. Versus altogether was 33, and you had the rest of them, maybe 17 or 14 or something like that, are police officers. And these police officers was in my neighborhood. I mean, my city police officers.
Mm-hmm.
Not one of them said I was stopping him. He had drugs, and so none of them.
So none of them knew who you were.
No.
None of them were a part of your case.
Nope.
But they testified.
And the only way that the federal government did that because they tried to boost up a case to try to make me plea out. So I'm gonna bring 30 some people against you. They're gonna testify. I don't know what their case is, but at the same time is I don't know what they're gonna say. But at the same time is those 14 police officers,
mm-hmm.
none of them had said anything bad about me. Not 14, not one of them. That other 17 people who came in,
mm-hmm.
Some of them lied and some of them told the truth. Yeah.
You said plead out.
Plead out.
What exactly does that mean?
They telling me my charges carry 10 to life, and they say you plea out, and you just plea out. You know, when you plea out, you don't really know what you're gonna get. But at the same time,
does that mean plead guilty?
Yeah, plead guilty. Plead guilty.
Okay.
Yeah, plead guilty.
So I was wondering what that. Okay.
Right, plead guilty, and you can get from 10 to life. Now, my own mouth is gonna get me convicted because, you know, they saying just plea out to 10 to life. I'm like, no, I'm not plea out to none of that stuff because first of all, you arrested me with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you got is circumstantial evidence. He say, she say, and at the same time, everybody who's testifying are people that you gave some type of reduction to. So they'll say anything. Like I said, someone was lying and someone told the truth. Yeah. And the person who shot me, all his was a lie. Everything was a lie. He just made all that up. Made all that.
But he testified.
He testified.
So he testified and they promised him a reduced sentence.
Immunity.
If he testified. What?
Immunity. He ain't got no time at all. He didn't do nothing like Jay.
Wait. He shot you 8 times.
Mm-hmm.
They know he shot you 8 times.
Exactly.
Could have killed you.
Right.
Attempted murder.
Right. And he did not do
it. And he got immunity for testifying against you.
Right. That's the type of stuff that was being said.
So he didn't do not one day in prison.
Not one day.
Wow. Folks, I hope you guys are listening to this because that is an outrage.
Yeah. So many people see.
How do you get immunity for shooting someone 8 times?
Right. But see,
that was intentional.
The thing about it is when you get a charge, it's federal.
Mm-hmm.
People wants to, if they already in trouble, if they didn't know who was going to trial and so on and so forth, they'll make up something just to say, hey, I did this, he did this, so they can get a time reduction. And that's what a lot of them guys were doing because, like I said, the guy who shot me, he already going to kill. He got caught with the gun. He got caught with bullets. He got caught with drugs. But he make up this lie saying, I threatened him, which I didn't do, just to get immunity. And then all the people who came in and said, I gave him drugs. Some of the people came in and gave drugs. You a bum off the street. You ain't nobody. You can't even make no money to sell drugs. That's how some of the people was coming in.
Really?
Yeah. So it just they got to get that stuff under control because people just say anything. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, a prosecutor say, okay, all right, okay, I'm gonna give you immunity too. I'm gonna give you a time reduction, not knowing if this person's story is accurate.
Right.
And they'll just do it.
So they're not even checking into their story.
They're not even checking into it. It's like,
they just want a body, a person.
Right.
And they don't even care who this person is.
Exactly.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so once they all testified against you, How long did this trial last?
This trial lasted like, I think 7 or 8 days. Almost 2 weeks, something like that.
So the verdict came in.
The verdict came in, and they said we found the defendant guilty on count 1, conspiracy, guilty on count 2, distribution, and count 3, acquitted. And I was like, I couldn't believe, I was shaking my head like, I couldn't believe the jury convicted me off of testimony. You know, it's like, huh? And the sentencing will be set for next January. So my lawyer is not is basically, he's trying to tell me, but he's not trying to tell me that I'm facing life sentence. So
so when you say tell you but not, what
because
exactly?
He's not emphasizing with emphasis. Hey, you're going to receive a life sentence. You at this category. All he kept saying was, we can do this. You will get a level of this, and he wasn't saying anything was concrete that he knew that was right. He wasn't being reasonable at all. He was not. I was not.
So you were thinking there's a chance. Okay, I might do a little bit.
Yeah, about 5 or 10 years.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then I'm gonna get out and I'll be good. You know.
Yeah. But when I came in there and he said, this is what the judge said.
Okay.
He said, I don't care what, Mr. Lovisi, he's gonna get a life sentence today. And he told him just like that, like, shut up. He's gonna get a life. In other words, he want to say shut up. He say, whatever you say, Mr. Lovisi, is obsolete. He's gonna get a life sentence today. Right then and there, that's when everything got real.
So he said life.
Yeah. Yeah.
A life sentence. Did you commit murder?
No, I ain't shooting
Were
nobody.
you the kingpin of
That's what they want
the drug cartel?
No, I wasn't that. Sure was not.
What did you do to... I mean, because I'm listening. I'm like, okay, something's not adding up in my mind that warrants a license.
Nope. You know, back in the days, I'm gonna say before Bush administration, when you had a guy who was a basketball player, his name was Len Bias, and he played for Maryland or somebody up that way, and he ended up down on the basketball court over cocaine or something. I don't know if he tried to use drugs before a game, but he had actually died on the actual court, and they came out with this strict law on the drugs. It was like 86 or 87. And it was like life sentence on this, hands down. And that's when that came about, 86, 87.
Okay, so regardless,
Right.
if it had anything to do with
Cocaine,
it's
right.
That's it.
But at the same time, this where the prejudice and the bias came in, because crack cocaine hit all the different areas throughout the country, the poverty areas. But at the same time, the cocaine was spread through the white people neighborhood, and the white people was snorting powder, and the black people was smoking crack. Well, they said the ratio was 100 to 1, meaning that if a person get caught with a gram of powder, it's considered 1 gram of powder. If a black person get caught with a piece of crack, it's considered 100 times whatever it is. So if you get caught with 5 grams of rock, that's 5 grams times 500. Yeah.
So you're talking about like a little.
That. Let me give you an example. Let's get this example. So they came with this in the 80s.
Okay.
They came with this in the 80s, and it lasts all the way through the 2000s, and they didn't stop until later on. You know. But anyway, that was so.
So you were like getting max sentences for.
Now I didn't get caught. Remember, I didn't get caught anything. But at the same time, if a person said they got this amount of drugs from me, the prosecutor is times that by another number, which is 100.
But you didn't get caught with
nothing.
Any drug.
Right.
You didn't have. That's the thing about it, though. That's the thing that I don't understand.
Right.
See, that's what I'm not. Maybe I'm not wrapping my mind around the fact that usually there has to be like physical evidence.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
of people doing. I've heard about you
Right.
just SWAT coming in and they're they find all these drugs
Right.
and okay they got two they got life,
Right.
but you didn't have any drugs on you.
None.
None.
None. Zero. I just graduated from school that day.
And you just that day.
That day. The contracted class I was in?
Yeah.
That day.
So you just graduated from school that same day.
That same day we had a banquet. And as soon as I left there, I got arrested. So I did. Yeah.
But you had nothing.
Nothing. With school books. Man.
They arrested you, and you didn't do anything, and they arrested you.
Right. And then I got the 2 life sentences. And when I got the 2 life sentences, it's like the whole world was on me because it didn't. Once I got on my way to the prison system, so the people telling me you're going to a maximum prison because the amount of time you got.
Well, back up, Tony, for just a moment for me, because I'm still kind of trying to wrap my mind around the fact that they still. I just once that judge said you have life. I mean, what exactly was the sentence that you were given?
Life. I received 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, and it was like,
whew,
one is sufficient enough.
Yeah.
Because,
how can you do 2?
You can't do 2. It's like, how can you give me like 2 life sentences? Like,
but that's exactly what I'm not understanding, Tony.
Yeah.
Is that you're saying you got 2 life sentences.
I got 2 life sentences
without the possibility of parole.
Yep.
They didn't find any drugs.
Nope. No drugs.
No evidence. Nothing. They don't have anything.
No.
You just graduated from school.
Right.
Kid is saying you get 2 life sentences, and the person that shot you, there's not even, they didn't even go to jail. That's so crazy. In the UK, we do not have guns. Not even our police officers have guns. That's crazy how American people just carry guns like toys.
Right. That's
Yeah. Yep, but that is Kay, and that's exactly how it is. And I'm just surprised that we live in a society, and even then, to where someone can get not 1, but 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole with no evidence. He didn't have any drugs on him, no guns, no nothing. He got arrested. He didn't have anything on him. Nothing. So the only thing that they had was word of mouth. Was that people testified against him and said he did this.
Right.
Said he did that.
Right.
And all based on that, the judge said 2 life sentences.
The jury.
Oh, okay. This was because it went to Supreme Court.
No. Remember, you can choose between a jury or a judge.
Okay.
I chose a jury
because you were like, "There's no way that
a jury will convict me."
A jury could convict you because you had nothing.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Tony? Then how did 12 jurors find you guilty?
Whatever the picture that prosecutor painted, she just refused. She refused to she like. He's this and he's that and so forth. And
so it was the prosecutor.
I mean, the prosecutor, she did her job. She did her job. But at the same time is, those I don't know how it went. Me at first. I don't know if they had the
So she clearly put doubt. Obviously, she was able to put that doubt in all of their minds. But still, in my mind, I'm just like, even though she could put that doubt in your mind, without any physical evidence, to me, this kid was graduated from school today.
Yeah. Right.
He had school books.
Right.
So clearly he turned his life around. Clearly he's not,
the thing about it is sometimes I try to wonder the minds of a prosecutor, and I say, wait a minute. how can the prosecutor want to go so hard when they know some of the guys the witnesses are lying? But at the same time, is they based on getting a conviction
That is so
and
true.
using you as a stepping stone. Because what's going to happen? They're going to exceed the ladder to another position and so on and so forth. They don't even think of us as human beings at all.
No.
And I would say to myself,
No, so yeah, I'm like you. How can you be a prosecutor?
Yeah.
Because you're prosecuting
you
or
know
defending.
you know people are
even
lying.
if, yeah.
You know they're lying, and then not just that. You're gonna accept people that they doing the same thing I was doing. They was hustling in the streets, but you gonna accept their word and say that you accept them over. No, it never resonated to me.
Just by word of mouth.
No, it didn't resonate. It resonated later on that everything happens for a reason,
Right.
and I'm where I'm supposed to be at. And that
What were you feeling, Tony, at that moment when the jurors, they came to the conclusion, the juror, they had the verdict, the judge read the verdict, right? Is that or is that one of the jurors say we the jury find?
The foreman did.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
How it goes? So
Right.
the judge just looks at it and then they give it back to.
Right.
Okay. So at that time, they said we the jury find the defendant guilty. Was it on all counts or
2 counts and one of them I was acquitted.
what were you acquitted of?
Just having a gun.
Okay, so that part you were acquitted of,
Right.
but the other 2. Now tell us, and those who are listening, what was the 2 counts that you were found guilty of?
Conspiracy and distribution.
So conspiracy and distribution.
There's a maximum license, and I got a license that day.
Even though they say distribution, but they had nothing to go by
Right.
with this charge because you
Right.
had no drugs on you. So
Right.
how do they know what you were distributing or if you were, because they
Word of
had
mouth.
no evidence
That's how they
against
word of
you.
mouth. That's my whole concept was there's no evidence. What is they talking about? And the whole time is people's like, hey man, they all they need is word of mouth. If the jury bad, man, they gonna convict you. And
So
that didn't
even-
resonate to me.
So
until,
at this point, you still were like, no.
I didn't get this until after I'm in prison
Oh.
because I'm actually having conversations with other guys who went to trial too.
Oh, okay.
And they was like, "Oh man, that's not like that. That's not like that. The state is different. The state won't even take you to court on word of mouth at all because that's not considered evidence. The federal government's the only one that does that. But the only way they do that because the way the law set up, meaning that it's called based on circumstantial evidence, and it's also called a preponderance of evidence standard. Preponderance of evidence
What is
standard
that?
is a weaker standard. It's a silver standard versus beyond a reasonable doubt.
Now, what is that called?
Preponderance is a civil standard. You got a criminal standard is proven beyond a reasonable doubt, and the second one was a civil is preponderance of evidence. By preponderance of evidence, you say I found you guilty, meaning that the evidence is enormous, but the evidence is not based on tangible. It's based on circumstances. Where I don't look at it's too many people saying this, so therefore I got to say this. But at the same time is so what? But this is their standard in the criminal justice system in the United States, which is 2 of them: a civil one and a criminal. Preponderance of evidence and reasonable doubt, proven by the reasonable doubt.
And that's still something that still
I still in play.
in play?
Yep. Because this is the trick about it. This is what they was doing. They would switch standards while trial going on. You charging you criminally for this charge, but at sentencing, I'm going to switch to civil and say preponderance of evidence, if that makes sense to you.
How could they do that?
Because, good question. Because first and foremost, you are actually being sued civilly for the charges. We taking you in criminal because you broke a criminal statute. Civilly, I'm prosecuting because you have disobeyed our laws. A monetary value is attached to the charges you actually are charged with. So preponderance of evidence can comes in and actually convict you. But you don't learn this until what? 101 School of Hard Knocks, law library.
Right.
Your lawyer not gonna tell you the standard because he don't want to tell you the standard. But this is how it goes.
Why wouldn't he want to tell you that?
What this is? What,
I mean, what does he benefit from not telling you?
Well, the thing about it is, certain lawyers are down with each other because they are sorority. Because they all belong to a bar association.
Okay.
They all pay dues.
Right.
Okay. And they all eat and drink and talk to each other on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not privileged to know the law because you're a client. And at the same time is they have actual allegiance to, not to us. Our allegiance, I ain't gonna say allegiance.
Mm-hmm.
Our interest is at the bottom, which is their first interest is to the bar, which is who gave them their title of nobility. The second one is to the court. See how they switch? Because remember, they operate under the court. They can't operate outside of the court because the court gives them all their power. So we are the last. So therefore, if my interest is not complying with this, then hey, you going out the boat. We shoot you the road because you don't have my best interest. And it's hard for you to accept, but it's actually in the jurisprudence. This is what the law is. They don't have your best interest. So they always tell you, plea out. Plea out.
Because they don't have your best.
Exactly. Because my first interest is first to the bar. My second one is to the court. Yeah. I got to do the court tell me to do because this is where my power lies at.
Oh, wow. Okay. Man. What was going through your mind?
Being a young...
When that sentence came down.
Well, when that sentence came, I thought the whole world was on me because I was like, a life sentence. I just couldn't understand it. I didn't know. I didn't seem like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
And until until the next thing you know, everywhere I was going at on my ride to my destination, they were saying, "Oh, you cannot touch my compound. You have a life sentence." That kept resonating because you always do what we call layovers, meaning that you'll drive to a certain state or city and you'll stay there for a day or two. Some people can go on population, some people could not because based on your sentence, you go on that hole because you got too much time. We don't know what you'll do. So every time I would go somewhere, it was like I'll go through some type of evaluation on you name your case, or you ain't here for drug case, or you got life sentence, or you can't go nowhere. You got to go in the hole. Everywhere I go, and it started resonating that hey, I got a life sentence for real. And when I got to the other place, the penitentiary,
So you went from the county,
went to Petersburg first, went to Atlanta, went to Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
Yeah, this is all the way before I get to Indiana.
Okay.
Right. So
So the first place you were, let's backtrack. You were county jail.
Right.
From there, you had to go to Petersburg.
Petersburg.
How long did you serve there?
I stayed at Petersburg for maybe 3 weeks or something like that, 3 or 4 weeks, in the whole considered.
So tell us and those who are listening and watching this, who may not know what that means.
The whole is, it's called secured housing unit, which is a cell that's, they say 9 by 6 or whatever, and you stay in there 23 hours and 1 hour. 1 hour for rec, and 23 hours you stay in there.
And this little tiny cell.
Right. And you come out to take a shower, and you come out to go outside for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Do you come out to eat?
No. You eat in that cell.
So they just kind of slide the...
Come to you and just give it to you at the door. And next thing you know, you eat in there, you eat your breakfast.
Any windows or?
No windows. No windows.
So you were in this little box for 23 hours a day.
Right.
for 3 straight weeks.
Right.
And you were how old?
22, 23.
23 at this point.
Right.
What was going through your mind?
I mean, it's just like,
Because you had a lot of time to think.
yeah, it was just like, just thinking about the people testify against you. You're thinking about, you know, what's ahead of me. You know, can I beat this case? You know, I know I got railroaded.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all these things was going on through my head. You know, I don't heard. You know, the place I'm going to, all they do is kill there. You know, that's all I was. All these pictures, because you know, you're meeting people as you go. You know, because everybody going this way, that way, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And the person like, hey, where you going? I said, I'm going to Terre Haute. Oh man, that's all they. That's a penitentiary. They kill that joint all the time. So that's a picture to them.
And this is where you were headed
My
to?
destination, yeah. And
And what was it called?
Terre Haute,
And where was that?
Indiana.
In Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay. And because this was after you did the 3 weeks there.
Right. Well,
Okay.
you know, remember, since Indiana is like towards the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming from this side, but we're not going straight there. We're going picking up people, so we don't go on from Petersburg. Then we're going to Atlanta. We picked up people from Atlanta. I don't test the compound because I got a life sentence, so I go back in the hole again, and I stayed maybe another 3 weeks.
Just
Yeah,
in the hole.
in the hole. Yeah, in the hole. And I stayed there for about 3
So
weeks. I think I stayed there
why
longer
exactly did they put you in the hole? Because you had a life
than
sentence?
life sentence.
Were you, so was that because they felt you were a threat
Right.
to the other inmates?
Right.
Why?
Because you have too much time. You have too much time. And
What does that mean? So they felt that you were a danger because you had nothing to lose.
Right. Right.
Was that?
Right. And I'm just coming in. They don't have no history on what I would do. So,
Okay, so they didn't know why you had got that life sentence.
No. They don't. Like for example,
or
they
they think you
don't
just
have
kill
the
people.
Bureau of Prisons don't have no. They don't have nothing to go on saying that okay, well he done been in for 5 years already. He not known to be doing anything. So therefore, we got a license. So you can let him
okay.
in. Yeah. So now he just got a license from court. We don't know what he'll do. So keep him in the hole until he get where he going at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
What was going through your mind?
Just everybody like, why you go to trial, man? Are you crazy? You know, this was certain people saying. You know, every time you heard a bunch of stuff from different people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, you going to trial, man? Nobody going to trial, man. Why you just in plea out, man? You know, and they're like, man, I'm not doing what the people done to me. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna tell on nobody. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm not doing none of that. You know, and
And what was the reason why you didn't plea out?
because I just, you know, the way first of all, when I got the evidence from the prosecutor, you know, they actually, it's called discovery.
Mm-hmm.
They had to give it to you and let you see who's going to testify and so on and so forth. So I'm saying to myself, how this dude going to testify against me and he the one shot me? And how this person going to testify when he got arrested, when he got caught with drugs? And it was just like I would dare plead to this,
Right.
you know. So it's like, no.
So you were like, no way.
Uh-uh.
These people, there's
Uh-uh.
no way that they can prosecute me with the particular people
Nope.
that are against me here, standing on trial
Nope.
until it actually happened.
Right. Yeah. So here I am. Then next thing you know, I go from Petersburg to Atlanta to Oklahoma. And when I'm in Oklahoma,
How long did you stay in Oklahoma?
probably the same. All of them is about
So-
3 weeks to a month.
Okay, because they're
Yeah.
just picking up people
And dropping off people.
Dropping off
Right,
people.
right.
Okay.
Right. So I'll go in there. Stay for about 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and then next thing you know, the next trip I reached to Atlanta, to Indiana.
Okay, so now you're in Indiana. This is where
I'm supposed to be at.
you're supposed to be. Okay.
So you know, and I heard so many bad stories on the way here about this
So
place.
you definitely weren't looking forward to
Yeah.
being there because you had already heard of
Right.
what kind of prison this was.
Right. So I get there.
And you were young. You were just a
Yeah.
kid.
Right. I get there. I just mind my business and just walked and just did what I was supposed to do. And I remember it's like it was just like yesterday. You know, for 2 weeks straight, I seen blood every day. What a trail going that way, a trail going that way. Or I remember one day I'm walking down a narrow. It's called a tier.
Mm-hmm.
It's on top of it. It's on the second floor. It's a tier. It's about a little bit bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
But you got
And what is it?
tiers. It's like a path.
Okay.
And on this side of it is people's doors, cell doors.
Mm-hmm.
A door slid open one day and a guy cut his wrist and blood is shooting out like his heart beating, just going like this, like that. So the guy I'm in the cell with said, "Don't let that blood get on you. You going to the hole. Get out the way, because you don't know if you was a suspect. If you did the cut or whatever." So he's telling me, "Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Don't let that blood get on you." So I back up because the dude's saying help. I'm like, help, you know what I mean? But the blood is shooting.
So
And I backed up and went get out of the way. But 2 weeks straight, blood every day. Now, mind you, this was one I seen, but the other ones I'm telling you about was somebody was being stabbed earlier. Somebody got a head bust earlier. But there's a path of blood going that way. There's a path going that way. It's just all the way until I just go like, how did I get myself in this? 2 weeks straight.
And these, these are some hardcore prisons.
Yeah, this prison was built in the
Like, these are no country club type prisons.
No.
Can you explain to our listeners and any viewers who may be watching what kind of prison this is that you were in?
All right, this prison was a maximum level 7 penitentiary.
What exactly does a level 7 mean?
That's the highest. And we'll go no higher than that. And everybody at this particular prison is either in a gang, because it's Bloods, Crips, GDs, Vice Lords, and the list goes on and on and on. This is what this whole place is. It's called a drug-infested penitentiary. 90% of people here are in a gang, and the other people just like me, that's here.
Mm-hmm.
And the gangs stick together, and they have wars together. And I say wars together, they fight other people together. You have riots there all the time. The prison used to stay locked down all the time. People getting killed all the time there. So
what they were telling you, people along the way,
yeah, was
true.
Oh yeah, they should have times 10. Because when first on
so
prison,
it was actually worse than what they even said.
Yeah, when he was like, man, all they do is kill that. It don't really resonate to you until you actually there and you actually seeing it. You seen it, but I didn't.
Because you really don't.
Yeah,
the thought.
I never had a picture.
Because you never really were around that particular kind of.
No, never seen this
violence.
Nope. And then the lockdowns was so. There was so many lockdowns. When I say lockdowns, remember I told you 23 and 1.
Mm-hmm.
They become to 24 hours now, because you ain't going nowhere on lockdown. You're gonna stay right in that cell until they get what's going on, and then. So
you're in there. You don't come out at all. You don't get to go out, stretch your legs, get fresh air, nothing.
No.
For as long as they can contain what's going on there.
Right. You're gonna take a shower or a bath in your zinc.
How often did that happen?
I can't even count. It's too many times. All the time. All the time. This was the first prison I was at. They stayed locked down all the time. But you know what? It really didn't affect me because I had nothing, no ruler to stand on to measure against. So when they were saying lockdown, I was like, lockdown, okay, all right.
Because you really didn't
know. I didn't know. I just thought it was a part of prison.
Like that was how it went.
Yeah, part of prison. Until you actually. I stayed there 4 years,
mm-hmm.
and then when I went to another penitentiary, I understood that prison, how worse that was, because this prison was not. They never went on lockdown in the 18 months I was there. Never. So now imagine,
not at all,
not one time. And this was a new facility; they just opened it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore,
and this was after you did the 4 years in Indiana,
right? So after I got transferred from Indiana to
mm-hmm.
over there, it was like a college campus compared to that. It was a brand new place.
Wow, really?
It was a brand new place. It had air conditioning. This place didn't have no air conditioning.
No air.
No. You got to buy a fan about this big, and you got to place it, right here. That's how you stay
mm-hmm.
cool.
So it was really a small, like a little mini fan.
Exactly.
Like one of those desk fans
Exactly.
that you sit on your desk, you know.
That's all you had.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if it was 100 degrees outside, it was 100 degrees inside.
Times something else.
So it just blew hot air, in essence.
Right.
Just hot air from that little fan.
Yeah. Majority of the people walked around with boxers on and t-shirts, and some with no t-shirt, just boxers, underwear, because it was too hot to put clothes on. Then you had people that was like there was what you call them, like, and I say there's a lot of gangs people, right? So a lot of them stayed like on deck. When I say on deck, meaning that anything can pop off. They had knives, they had pants on, so they could have a little knife and something like that. But the people that wasn't into
they weren't distributing knives.
Oh, of course they was making distributing knives. They were making them knives because there was no war. I mean, some type of thing was going on, and it happened. It happened all the time.
So you had to really stay on guard.
Stay on guard and and pay attention. Just pay attention. I honestly had to pay attention to what's going on, because you can catch yourself. Like, for example, like I remember one time I went to the rec yard. That's when you go out there and work out. I went out to the rec yard, and it was about 7 o'clock. I came in at
and now what's this, in the morning or at 7 o'clock in the evening?
At evening.
Okay.
Daylight saving time, so it's light outside.
Okay.
So as I come back in, within seconds, they say lockdown. There's a riot on the yard. Now, it was something in the air, but I just didn't see it. But as soon as that move was over, it happened right then and there. And we went on lockdown for a long time. We went on lockdown for maybe 3 or 4 weeks at that time. And there's 100 degrees, 90 degrees outside.
What do you do when you're stuck in this confined little space? Are you in a space with someone else?
No.
Or are you in the space by yourself?
Well, majority of my time when I was in Indiana, I was by myself. But when I first got there, I had one seller, and then I remember him basically, the one told me, "Hey, don't let that blood get." That's the first seller I had. He basically told me the ropes. Then from there, I moved to another unit, and I got a room by myself. And I was used to being by myself, so therefore it didn't really. The time wasn't affecting me then, because I was doing it by myself. I wasn't doing it with somebody else. And it was just wow. Some days I sit back and say, I know God was basically protecting me, because those days was really, really hectic when you sit back and think, just the mindset to actually be in a place for 24 hours, for weeks, and
hours, weeks, months, years.
Exactly.
Day to day, day in, day out, being institutionalized.
Yeah.
How does your mind stop being institutionalized?
When you tell yourself, this not going to be my end. So I'm not going to die in this place. And you telling yourself, I'm not going to die in this place. I'm not going to give in. It's a reminder that I'm not going to do this. I'm telling myself every day, I'm not going to do this. Some people don't have no minds like that. They fold right in. They start using drugs. They start doing this. They start doing that to take away the pain or the mindset where they got to do this 30 years, 40 years life sentence or whatever.
Because
they can't cope. But I just refuse to accept it. I refuse. And I stayed.
What did you stay focused on? What helped you?
Learning the law was my tool to make my head get strong, because now I know how you tricked me earlier. It made me want to learn the law more and more and more, because had I known this earlier, the results wouldn't be the same. That would motivate me want to go to the law library more and be around people that's smarter than me and just learning the law, and motivate me more and more and more want to learn the law. That's what made my head so strong, and like I ain't going for nothing what's going on around me. That what made me strong at that time.
So you say at that time.
At that time.
What exactly did you experience? What's the worst thing? Let's stay right there for a moment. In Indiana, what was the worst thing that you had experienced there?
The worst thing?
If you wouldn't mind sharing that with me.
just like you see dudes walk on the compound. Next thing you know, they dead. You know, somebody saying this dude got stabbed yesterday or so, or just the information reaching you. Hey man, you remember such and such? That's the one got stabbed. He dead. That right there is like, I just seen that dude. Or you know the person who done the stabbing, and you like, what? Why would he do something like that? Because you get more time. Some people get more time on top of the time they're doing. Not just
because they do.
Yeah. And then not just that, it's just knowing people dying in there without a health issues. They dying because they get stabbed to death. They dying because they get beat to death. Those was the things was bother you. But then same time you had to shake it off because everybody around you can't show no type of weakness, because they show any type of weakness, they open for prey. Just that simple. You got that's what it is. That's what it is in that place. That place is nowhere you can be. That's how it is.
Is the survival of the fittest.
Yes, that's what it is.
So you can't really show emotions. To me, it seems like you're saying is that you can't really show.
You sure can't. I don't care who you can't show no emotions in there.
And be some soft person. You
can't show no emotions in there. You know, you and I.
So what if you're someone who does show emotion or doesn't like to fight or doesn't? I mean, what happens to that person?
That person end up somebody gonna make them be something they don't want to be.
And do things they don't want to do.
Yeah, that's what I poured out to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, now I've watched plenty enough movies. I don't know if it's like any of the movies I've ever saw. You know, I've seen movies like Scarface, but I'm saying movies where they were in prison and things happened and where they didn't have a choice but to either kill or be killed, and they were going to be somebody's bitch. You know,
right? And gears out.
For lack of another word, right now. You know, when you show signs of weakness, I don't know if that's true because I've never, but
I guess one day we're going to tier again. This tier is wider now because I'm in another unit. We're actually playing cards or something like that. I got a TV right in front of myself. A guy come in from another unit. He's not supposed to be in here because he lives in another unit. He said, "Where is such and such at?" So we thinking we done seen them together. We're like, "Oh, he stayed down there," and we kept on doing what we doing. Playing cards, whatever. At this particular place, it's called a cell that has bars on it. Okay. It's an old type of cell like you see on TV, bars. That means it's always open. But we always put a sheet up in case you use the bathroom. There's some type of privacy.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Right. So it's normal that two people can go in their room and put a sheet up because whatever they doing, they don't want nobody to see it. But we're not considering them doing nothing funny because
that's normal.
It's normal
to have some privacy.
Yeah,
because you can see.
Right.
So it's like that's your wall.
Right. Okay. So we in there, finished doing what we do. We're on a tier talking just like we talking. So next thing you know, they call the move. They call the move every hour and hour. So next thing they call the move, the dude he leaves. So within 15-20 minutes, the other guy leaves. So I'm not paying no attention because nothing is normal. Next thing you know, the police come back and shut his door. Clean. Like, what's all that for? You know what I mean? So
y'all like, what's going on at this point?
So now I'm going downstairs. I'm about to leave out of the unit. The other guy who came in said, "Hey man, what my homeboy?" I said, "I don't know, but the police just locked his door." Like that. So now I don't know what's going on in his head, but next thing you know, the next day they said the dude got raped. At night. But I heard them in there saying, shut up. But that would mean that's still they might be having a conversation.
Right.
But at the same time is the guy put a knife to his neck and told him shut up and he raped him. And that's when the whole system changed after that incident right there. But I thought they was in there joking and playing, but the whole time he in there raping that dude. Right on, just like I said, we out here playing cards and he was in there raping. Just like that. Yep. I never seen that dude
So
again.
the guy who asked where he was is
Yeah.
the one who raped
Right. The other dude.
the other dude because he was looking for him.
Right. He was like, man, where my homeboy at? I'm like, I don't know, man. But they
And
police
that was
just locked
his friend.
Yeah, but whole time is he praying on him because he's seeing he just doing filling them out or whatever the case may be. And next thing you know, we heard him like, man, shut up. We don't know what he's doing. We just went in there talking.
He
or
thought,
whatever.
man, you just tell him to shut up
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
was having
yeah.
an argument.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you ain't thinking
It's not our business.
this is okay.
None of
So
our
you
business.
just mind your own business.
Mind your business until the
Because
next,
that's something you learn.
right until the next day. That lady was in charge of our unit told us he got raped and all the stuff that transpired. I was like, what?
So at this point, I know you guys were like, dang, we were just right there.
Yeah, all three of us, me and the other guy, was like, man, we was right there. This dude was saying here, raping this dude right then and there. And he's like, remember he kept telling him shut up. We like, man, we didn't know he was doing that. But still, we're not our business anyway.
But still, you guys wouldn't have, because that's what you don't get involved.
You don't get involved.
So even if you knew there was something going on like that, would you have got involved? Because you're saying you don't. This is something you don't do.
I'm walking away.
Is that like code? You don't. This is what you
Well,
just don't.
it's
That's
just-
something you learn.
You just
Is
when you in West
mind
Carolina,
your
you mind your
business.
business. You mind your business. You know, I'm fresh and I don't know no better. You know what I mean? I don't know the protocol yet or how to address issues like that. So I just mind my business. You know, he got to handle it on his own. You know,
So he just muzzled his mouth, or he just held a
I guess
knife.
And now
Because you guys really didn't hear him.
nah, we just kept telling him shut up, man. Next thing you know, everything changed after the incident because. when
So
that
you
incident-
never saw that guy.
ever again.
You didn't even see him come out the cell.
I remember I told I seen him come out.
Oh, you seen him come
I
out.
seen him come out, but at the same time, it's normal. I didn't see him come out. I seen the first guy come out. I seen the other guy come out, but we're not paying no attention to no nothing. It's like it didn't give us no
So he
signals after
didn't
the
look
door.
like
After
something
the,
happened to
right
him.
after the door or after the took the thing out. It's not like it, like something. No, he didn't come out. I said, man, he didn't do none of
He
that.
didn't do that.
No.
He just came out
He
smooth.
just came out, and every day he went to the police, and then went to the lieutenant office, and then told him what transpired. They locked his door, and then next thing you know, that next day is when they informed us that that guy was raped. Yep.
And what happened to the one who actually did it?
Oh, we don't know. You know, he got to try another charge.
Okay, so he
Yeah.
wasn't even. They didn't even keep him there.
No, he
either.
wasn't there neither. Sure wasn't.
So they moved both of them.
Right. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
And these are the things that you were exposed to: killings, rapes,
Yep. All that stuff. Yep. Just being
and that was just everyday life.
everyday life, and like I said, I didn't know the protocol, didn't know I was green, I didn't know nothing. All I know is what my setter used to tell me: hey, mind your business, man. Just don't even look at nobody's cell when you walk past. When you walking past a tier, don't be looking like nobody said like that. It's not your business. What's going
Oh,
on
does
there.
that cause?
Yeah, that cause. You don't do. You look straight. You don't look at nobody else's room. You don't do that.
What? So what happens to those who have done that?
Hey man, what you looking at, man? It's called it cause a conflict. Hey yo, don't be looking at myself, man. They have that right to say that because what you doing looking at in their what's her name in their room? What's going on in there doesn't consist of you. And if you see something going on, what you gonna do? So to alleviate that,
You just.
straight. Yeah, that's why
So some people have found that out the hard way.
Yeah, like the first son I had when I first got there, he told me broke everything down to me. He did a good job. Told me, hey man, don't look at nobody's sales, don't talk to these dudes, man. And this everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't talk to
You've
these
had
dudes, man.
quite
Just
an
work on your
experience.
case because he had licenses too. He had
Okay.
2 licenses too.
Okay, so he was
Yeah.
he was pretty smart guy,
Right. Yeah.
and who had been there for a while
Yeah, he'd been
already.
there for 5 years already.
Okay, so he already knew the ropes, and he seen
Yeah.
you,
Yep.
young kid.
Yep.
He telling you, this is you want to survive here.
Yeah. Yep. This is what you do.
This is what you do.
Exactly.
This is no joke.
Yeah.
So you did 4 years.
4 years there.
And then what happened next?
Then I went to Coleman, Florida. Got transferred there.
Coleman, Florida.
Yeah, this is a new facility.
Okay, and it was definitely nicer than obviously.
Right. It's nicer
Because
than
you said this is a new.
yeah,
Actually, had air
right.
conditioning.
I had air conditioning and
A lot
the
of
whole-
funky bodies
yeah.
there when you use that.
yes, I
thing.
was. It
Yeah.
was. That's what I'm talking about.
No air
The
conditioning.
walls,
Look, I'm
right.
just now thinking about that. Like, wait a minute. Woo-wee, y'all was some musty, man.
Yes, you had to stay taking showers over and over and over all day
It
because
was like big
You can't
community
even-
showers.
the upstairs was separate, downstairs was separate, but in the other units, you had to actually make somebody had to actually make separations.
Was it like the movie Don't Drop the Soap?
I mean, another unit, a guy. I mean, it was like that, but a guy actually partitioned
Oh, so that's real.
out. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
real.
real.
Yeah. See, you joking? I'm telling you, it's serious.
I'm not
It's
joking.
serious.
Oh, you
serious.
hear that? You know,
It's serious.
I hear it. They be
Yeah.
like, "Don't drop the soap."
Yeah, that's a serious thing.
So, but that is a serious
Yeah.
statement, though,
Yeah, you don't want to do nothing like that.
because
But-
it's a big.
Yeah, this in another unit though. Like I said, they had the open shower thing, but one guy or orderly came and put partitions in it, which is like plastic showers,
Mhm.
curtains, and so therefore you can have some privacy because we wasn't used to stuff like that. The unit I was in at first had individual stalls, so when we had to move to another unit for temporarily because they had to put a sprinkler system in. That put us out of our comfort zone. So therefore, the dude said, "Man, listen, I got this. I'm gonna separate this whole thing, man. We're not gonna be taking no shower together. You know what I mean?
Right,
Because you
right.
got 5 stars here, 5 here. No. I got what I'm gonna do. Hey, we need 10 such and such, and I'm gonna separate this. Y'all don't got hit to like, hey, I got it. I'm gonna do it. And that's how he did. But actually, I let them want to do it. Let the prison run it. They're running. You got 5 stars right here.
And it'll
5.
just be all open, and
Yeah.
that's it. It is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. But that dude, I'm glad somebody could think, and they actually
That they actually separated
Yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
So, in Florida,
Yeah.
it was separated.
Oh, it's a brand new place. It's brand new. I mean, all separate. It's brand spanking new.
Air conditioning,
Air conditioning.
your own cell.
For a little while, I was in a cell by myself maybe 9 months until they stopped other busters started coming there. Next thing you know, I had to sell it for maybe 10 months or 7 months or something like that. Then I got transferred.
So you left the new place, transferred again. Where did you go then?
Went to, it's called Lee County. This is in Virginia, all the way over there by Tennessee. All the way, you can go up and be in Tennessee, over Tennessee, and you go down. I'm saying it wrong. You go down Tennessee, then go up, you be in Kentucky. So it was all the way over there. That's where I was at.
Lee County.
Lee County, Virginia.
I want to say I heard of Lee County on a show. I wonder, did they do, they do documentaries. So I'm wondering if they've done documentaries on that prison.
Oh, that prison? What's one?
That, it was in Lee County.
I don't know.
There's a couple of them in Lee County.
The jails? I think this is the only one. They got some outside of Lee County. 'Cause Lee County is a small county. Real small.
Okay. Well, I know there's been some documentary, they do these documentaries where they're talking about life and how life is, depicted in prison and how inmates are being treated.
This prison is a brand new prison like Coleman.
Oh, okay.
I originally supposed to went to Virginia first before going to Florida, but some got screwed up. Next thing you know, I ended up in Florida. Then that 18 months they sent me to Virginia, West Lee County.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once you made it to Lee County, how long were you there?
14 years. Straight.
So this is where you did
Most of my time.
most of your time.
Right.
How was time there?
Yeah. Well.
Because that was quite a long journey.
Yeah.
How was it in the first 5 years?
Well, in the first 5 years, let me go back some. when I became Muslim when I was in Coleman,
And Coleman is in Florida.
Right.
Okay. So how did you do that? What made you?
Become Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it was like Muslim guys in my unit, and I used to like they had good personality. They had everything was they had like a good vibe about themselves,
Okay.
And next thing you know, me and one guy we used to talk about it all the time. I used to ask him questions about the religion, and he used to ask my questions. And next thing you know, you're like, man, it's come to Juma. And,
Okay.
And I went to Juma, and then next thing you know, I started asking more questions, and next thing you know, I became Muslim in Coleman. And when I became Muslim, I fasted that month of Ramadan, and then next thing you know, I got shipped. So my mindset is different from now. From
Ramadan's coming up.
Yeah, Ramadan is coming up, and I everything got different. My whole
You still Muslim? By the
yeah.
way? Okay.
And when I got to Indiana, Lee County, it's in the Muslim aspect now. It's not in the it's like more religious aspect now.
Okay.
And it's easy now for me now because
Why is that?
Because I'm actually chasing knowledge, the right knowledge.
Okay.
And it's easy for me to attain it because I'm around a bunch of people now who are smarter than me. See, my whole thing about it, I like being around people smarter than me because it humbles me and I want to attain what they got.
Mm-hmm.
That was made me go every day because now it's not about the drugs and all that stuff. That's nothing. The knowledge was I was infatuated about the knowledge, speaking Arabic, knowing the religion, memorizing it, and then applying it. That made me get even headstrong. Then not just that, everything that was going to come together. It was like coming together, and I knew right then and there I was right where I was supposed to be at. See, sometimes in life people say, if I did this, if I done this, the outcome would have been different. But as long, there's no such thing as if. No such thing. You're right where you're supposed to be at, meaning that me going to jail,
Mm-hmm.
me being incarcerated, me having a life sentence, all this was decreed from Allah to have. So it was easy for me now. Now I know that now I'm a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
I'm studying, and I'm still working on my case.
So are you with the nation? Or you
Nah,
Sunni Muslim?
Sunni Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're a Sunni Muslim, and you are which made the time bearable,
It's
I
easy.
think, and I like it.
You don't let me
That
say
is
it
an
easy.
interesting. That is an interesting term to describe prison.
At this time.
That the time now,
Mhm.
this was that in the first years, or just are you saying the whole 14 was became easy once you found Islam?
Once I became Muslim, and I understood when Allah decreed for you something,
Mhm.
that when your life has already been written out,
Mhm.
all you're doing is going through what was already written for you. You couldn't have ducked it. There's no way you could have ducked it. It's just
Mhm.
like this is what was for you. And learning the religion is like, okay, I got it. I'm full force, and everything else on the outside just didn't bother me no more. And
Mhm.
it's just it was more acceptable now. So okay, now I got to do something about this. Now I got to work on my case. I got to do something. I can't just sit and hoping that everything's going to happen overnight. No.
Right.
No.
So because you really had to put in some work.
I got to put in
on
work.
this.
Yeah.
So what exactly, when you say put in some work, what exactly were you working on? What was the first things that were going through your mind that you needed to do about your case?
Okay. I had to learn how I got in this predicament, and
Okay.
learn how I got to get out of it. So the thing about it is, you got to learn: did they do everything according to their law? Anything they did outside of their law, then that's no violation. I gotta find out that now. At first, I didn't know anything, so I gotta find out about all of that. Did they follow the procedure accordingly to this? Was it constitutional?
Mhm.
Did they do this wrong? Did they violate this statute?
How would you know that?
Huh?
How would you know?
I had to read cases after cases and cases and cases until my eyes went bad. And that's why I got glasses on today.
Because you did a lot of reading.
A lot of reading.
Okay.
A lot of
Okay.
reading. A lot of reading.
I know that came with age. The
Classes
didn't
pop.
come with age?
No, I was reading thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands.
Oh, okay.
Pages.
Okay.
You know,
And what exactly did you have to read that helped you with your case? What kinds of, just a little example of?
American jurisprudence is
Okay.
one of the cornerstones of this country's law. Annotated, United States annotated version, which is
Mhm.
the statute, how they are intended, meaning that they give you a case, a little introductory case of the statute this particular person violated, and they tell you how the court ruled on this particular issue, and that's how you say, okay, this court ruled like this, and this court ruled like this, but this is how you understand what it did was wrong or it did it correctly. That's how you find out like that. And then you start reading Supreme Court cases and so on. So, because remember, everybody's supposed to follow the United States Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's how you do it. You gotta learn all these different terminology, just these different words, because the law is in Latin, meaning the words, not our regular grammar, but you still have Latin words that's being utilized in the criminal justice.
Why is that?
Oh no, just something they adopted from overseas, from Great Britain.
So that's where it originated from.
Great, exactly.
So if you don't know
Yeah.
that language,
Yeah. Oh, you don't have no Black Law Dictionary.
then I hear about the black law.
Right.
So if you don't know about that,
Mhm.
and you get convicted, or you have to go to court and you don't know
Yeah.
about black law, or you don't have that black law dictionary, these are the things that can happen to you.
Right. And they know what they say? Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And they say it with a smile on their face.
Big smile.
A big smile. Ignorance of the law is no excuse. And when I first heard it and then I seen it,
Mhm.
I understood it then. Because, okay, you're right. Just because you don't know, don't mean I can't apply this law to you. So, yeah.
So you spent years looking at different cases
Mm-hmm.
and learning what your case should have been and what happened, what exactly
What
happened as far as the laws that took place that
Right.
you were unaware of
Right.
at that time.
Right.
What should have been different in your case and that you learned? If your young self knew about what your self now, present self knows, what would have been different?
Well, according to the law, you're not supposed to use perjured testimony. You know, that's one thing.
Okay.
And they used some perjured testimony before. But overall, throughout the case, they didn't really anything outside of that. They went by the book. You know, they do have statutes. When I say statute, the conspiracy statute don't say you have to have drugs in your possession to be not be convicted of conspiracy. You don't have to have drugs in your possession not to get a distribution charge. There's not a standard. So it's saying distribution.
Mm-hmm. And that's what it was.
And conspiracy saying
at that time, right?
You're right.
Okay.
Those two charges.
Mhm.
Whoever knowingly meeting of the minds. Then it don't have to be a verbal meeting of the minds. It's just an action that's being done repetitive over and over and over. Meaning that there's a meeting of the minds. That's you are doing these particular things and so on and so forth.
Mhm.
So this is how they actually explain conspiracy. This is like I'm saying. This is the court. When I say the court, this is judges giving their ruling on what conspiracy is, what distribution is,
Mhm.
and this is how the lower courts follow suit. The lowest court, meaning like my judge. My judge is a district court. The appeals court is higher than the district court. The appeals court is under the Supreme Court.
But you didn't have to go through, because you said this didn't hit the Supreme Court.
It didn't. I mean, I try to get it to the Supreme Court, but they ain't trying to hear that.
No.
I try to go there, but they ain't trying to hear that. They're like, this is normal operation for us. This is normal business. This is normal business for us. This is what happens. You get this. These are the two charges. You don't need no evidence. And
So this is a civil.
Exactly.
So in a civil court, you have a juror,
Mm-hmm.
that can convict you that maximum amount?
Of course they can. They tell you, if they say you're guilty, you're guilty. And you owe that amount. You owe that money.
So are the same laws that were in place then that convicted you
Mhm.
still in place now? And can they convict you at this point?
Okay, good question. The law has changed in reference to the conspiracy laws is the same. The distribution has changed. They don't have the 100 to 1 there. They have 16 to 1. Ask me where they got that from. I don't know. They moved the actual amount of drugs to have a life sentence. They moved it up more because it only took a key and a half to get you to level 38. Level 38 is like the top.
So what would you get if you got a level 38?
You would get 30 years. But they gave me 4 more points for being a leader,
Mm-hmm.
and they gave me 2 more points to saying I had a firearm throughout the course of the conspiracy.
But you didn't have one.
No, because I got acquitted at the third count. Remember I told you I got
Mhm.
acquitted? So therefore they said, wait, so what? We got evidence somewhere else that somebody said that he had a gun.
Yeah, but how did you get these points in being a leader? When you didn't even have, how did you get points
Right.
being a distributor?
Yeah.
Distribution.
This case, this question you asked me came up
Mhm.
like 5 years or 7 years when I was incarcerated. If you don't have evidence to support these 2 different enhancements,
Mhm.
then you can't give it to them. But you know what happened? I don't have a vehicle to go in court. My vehicle, I use it already because when I got locked up, you got they call it direct appeal.
Mhm.
Once you your direct appeal, it takes its course. You can't delay it. You can't delay it. Once you get your trial, you get a direct appeal right after that. And throughout that time, this other case that happened after that was already my case was going there.
So when you say you can't delay it, you don't have any time.
You got meaning that as soon as you get convicted, and you get like maybe I think it's 6 months after that you gotta file your notice of appeal. When you file your notice of appeal, you tell the court you want to appeal his
But
decision.
how is that leaving any time for you to learn about the case?
Oh no,
and learn?
that's the whole concept. Is not to learn. That's why they know for a fact if you go to prison, you're gonna learn the law because you had nothing else to do. So there's a process meaning that okay, after this you gotta file this, after this, and it's so fast. Next thing you know, you had no time to learn the law, and you'll know what they did to you. So now, once you found out what they done to you, you can't even get back in court because you can't go in there under no particular statute. You can't cite not to go in there. So therefore, you have to sit like me. I sat there for all the years. When they said they done something wrong, but I didn't have a vehicle to go in court. If that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
You have a habeas corpus. You got a habeas corpus, right?
No.
Okay, habeas corpus meaning that I'm saying that this body you have incarcerated, you done something wrong to put it here.
Mm.
I'm filing habeas corpus, and you must address this issue. I had a habeas corpus before this issue came out, but I didn't. This other issue that's transpired was already. I mean, it didn't take course yet, so therefore I don't use my 2 vehicles already.
So you didn't have, so you couldn't do anything.
I couldn't do anything, but I know I've been violated. I know that, like, cause this was the Supreme Court said this. The jury is the fact finder of the case, not the judge. Once you say I want a judge, once you say I want a jury is to be the fact finder, then that excludes him out. But what they was doing was the jury said, okay, we found Mr. Jones guilty. They said, okay, that's all we need. Then the judge said, by preponderance of evidence, I'm gonna do this to you. But the jury didn't say that. The jury gotta be the fact finder of everything.
Right.
So now that leaves him to say, I'm gonna give you a life sentence. I'm gonna say this. I believe this dude's testimony. I'm gonna believe his testimony. So that would give the Supreme Court to say, this is y'all been violating their Sixth Amendment right this whole time.
Mm.
But I was already locked up, so therefore I didn't have no way to get back in court. So I stayed all the extra time for all those years without a vehicle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as time goes on,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fighting, and I'm not gonna go out. I'm not gonna go out like that. And at the same time, I'm gonna put, even though I don't have a vehicle, but I'm still gonna put it in another motion. to the court, say, hey, according to this, you did this wrong. They're like, denied. Won't even give you an explanation.
Why?
Because arrogance. To me, it's arrogance. Because
So every time you put it in,
yeah,
your motion,
yeah,
for appeal, they just shut it down.
that's denied. Don't give you an explanation saying according to set, this denied.
Just right away, shoot
Yeah.
it down.
Yeah, shoot it down. Shoot it down.
But that didn't stop you.
No, because my whole, like for example, I'm at a prison where there's 1,500, 1,600 people here, and out of these 1,500, 1,600 people, you might have got 100 people just there that got a life sentence. That's in the same boat I am. But you also got some other people that got life sentences that's not in my boat, meaning they pled guilty to a life because they get hit for murder and so on and so forth.
Right.
So you got guys like us, and we all from all over the whole country. You got people from Florida, Louisiana, Miami, everywhere, and we fight for our life because we this is our life. This is our life. So we going back and forth to the library. We sending motions here, he sending motions here, so on and so forth, and to the point that President Obama he gets elected. He gets elected, and as time goes on, as he getting the feedback from the other prosecutors, that the laws prior to this is they are all wrong. The majority of the people that locked up is African Americans, and they got life sentences. And not just that, the disparity meaning that you giving if a white person get caught with powder cocaine, it's 1 gram, but if a black person get caught with a piece of crack rock, it's 100 grams.
Why is that?
That's what they made up. They made up that number back in the 80s, 86, 87. Really. And it didn't change until Obama changed it. Everything that they was doing to us for all that from 86, 87, all the way to 2015, he changed all that stuff.
Did he?
All of it.
Hold on.
Not just that, And in 2016, I get a letter from Obama, basically giving me clemency from the two life sentences. Because remember, I was supposed to die in there, and I was supposed to die. Not just that, I was supposed to die twice.
So how did that happen? How did this reach President Obama?
Well, like I said, you have so many people that's incarcerated that was fighting, and they were saying that hey, these guys are not wrong, because first and foremost, these guys being violated the same way, which is all the fact finding and the drug amounts that y'all attribute to them, they got it from a judge. They didn't get it from the jury. So all their cases been wrong, but they don't have a way to get in court, and the judge keep denying them because he's going by the book. So everybody who been locked up for 10 years, who got a drug offense, a crack cocaine drug offense, all the law according for all the lawyers in the United States, civil and criminal, we need to get these guys out of jail now. And next thing, and they started it. And when in 2015, it said
so he started. I'm sorry. It started in 2015.
Right.
Okay. So the process took.
It took not even a year. Not even a year. Because think about it. They say when that costs you no money at all, you don't have to pay anything. All you got to do is fill out the survey from the Bureau of Prisons. Your name, your number, your case number, how much time you done, and your original sentence, and then send it in.
Wow.
Now, this is a catch.
Uh-oh.
They already know this information already. How did? Because I'm in their facility, but I have to want them to do this. So you have people that didn't even do it because they wasn't assured that was this real or not. Oh man, I ain't filling that paperwork out. Man, I ain't doing that. So yeah, you got it's people that to this day that's still in prison that all they had to do is fill out that paperwork.
And that's all they had to do.
That's how they do it. Fill it out, start the ball rolling. Because what we did was once you fill out the survey, it goes to a central place, which is DC, and all they do is sift through them and confirm it. And they call your case manager. Okay, this is Tony Jones. Okay, you got 2 life sentences, drug charges. Okay, he been in jail since 1997. Okay, all this is correct. So put it to the next person. Now, what is he doing now in prison? He doesn't have no violence. He doesn't have nothing to put a black mark on me. Okay, put it over there now. It keep going through a sense of being surveyed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now he had charged with 846, 841. Okay, he primed us out. He's a prime candidate. This is the one who we validated, and they kept suffering doing like that to people because he had also people who shouldn't be filing this paperwork because they don't fit the script. You haven't been in 10 years, and you don't have a drug case.
Right.
These are people who had non-violent charges. Non-violent meaning is people who have just a drug offense.
Mm. Okay.
So it was getting shuffled like that. So next thing you know, I received a lawyer. Hey, Mr. Jones, my name is Tony Jones. My name is such and such. I'm from this firm out of California. I've been assigned your case. Sign here, and I will get all your paperwork.
Wow.
Right.
How did you feel when that happened?
They didn't resonate because they think it was fake.
You were just like, okay.
Yeah. So I like, oh, okay. And as time goes on, a ride comes off.
Oh goodness.
A ride.
Oh.
And some people got really hurt.
Oh, okay. So this was like a really bad one.
Just like the one, they're all in bad. Somebody gonna get hurt in these rides.
Okay. So all the rides are bad.
A ride happens, and we on lockdown, and I'm in between the clemency and all that stuff.
Right.
And it didn't start shipping people everywhere, And next thing you know, I was one of the person they shipped.
Oh no.
Yeah. So but the thing about it is, they shipped me to a medium security place.
Oh.
Petersburg.
So that was better.
Yeah. Petersburg.
Okay, because the one that you had, the clemency and everything from was a maximum.
Right. I was at the maximum.
Okay.
And so then.
And you had been in maximum
the whole time.
Right?
Right.
So for the first time, you were in a medium.
A medium.
Tell us the difference between those particular types of prisons, a medium facility versus a maximum.
Okay. A medium facility is there's no wall and there's fences. A maximum, there's a wall, only thing you can see is up. That's it. You have a wall and you have fence, 3 fences with electrical wires, so on and so forth. And then the atmosphere of people killing each other and raping, like I was telling you, in the maximum prison. Stuff that don't happen in the medium. It might happen, but it's not something it don't happen there because these people are getting ready to go home.
Okay, so those are medium, the ones with the fences.
Right.
Oh, okay, because when I go to North Carolina, I see that one on the 11 when you're driving all the way to North Carolina. I'll be seeing one and it's got a fence around it.
Right.
So those are all medium.
Those are medium. Medium or low. Because you got a medium and a low.
Oh, and a low. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the maximum, all you're going to see is wall.
Wall.
And
sky.
Wall and sky.
Right.
Okay.
And that's basically how it is. There's less fights. There's less stabbings at the medium, but in the maximum, there's all the time, and that's how it is. That's how it is. And I was in there the whole time, 19-some years in a maximum, and I sit back and reflect on it all the time. I'm like, wow, alhamdulillah, I made it.
So now you're at this medium.
Let me back up something. Now.
Oh.
Yeah, my fault.
That's okay, Tony. Tell us, give us all of it.
When I was in, before I got clemency, I started a mentor program. And
so this happened while you were at the medium, or
Lee County.
Okay.
Because remember, I was a tutor. I was a tutor there. I stayed in the education department a lot. And
what were you tutoring?
It was called adult continuing education.
Oh, okay.
Now, me personally, I went to college in the past, so all I was doing was teaching what I was being taught, in college level, and that's what I was doing in the education department. I also had first dibs that if they had any programs, I could enroll first at those programs. So I was always be inside, the other programs.
Right.
For example, they had a Microsoft program, they had a building program, like stuff I'm doing, like building houses, something like that. They had all these certain type of programs. So I would have first dibs because you don't get paid nothing teaching people in the education department. So anyway, people was coming in so young. And I say young.
How young?
They look like they're 16, but at the same time they're 18. But you can't be 16 in a male adult facility. But you go look at some of these dudes like, hey, this kid, and they didn't know how to actually maneuver through prison. You know, they was actually getting more trouble, getting more charges, getting more time, and so on and so forth. So I just asked the AW, could she take a look at this mentor program that I want to do? And she looked at it, and she was like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I said, yeah, this should be go. So we went down her meet, and she asked me, whoever will help you do it. And I started picking out the people I knew that wouldn't make me look bad. They were actually saying, hey, I want to do this too, man, when I get out. You know, not just I would do something like this out. So I picked these other guys. I picked them. And then we went down there, and I wrote it out first, and I said, these are the guys who actually helped me with this mentor program. And then we actually started doing it.
What did that entail?
What entailed? I just wanted. I didn't like the mindset of the young guys coming in, because what they was doing, if they did one thing wrong, it's a backfire. It's gonna hurt us too. Meaning that if he go there and stab a dude, they gonna lock the prison down. So
that would affect everybody, right?
And then not just that. Now you're gonna give it some more time. If you're gonna be here for whatever how much time you got, then you're gonna got an extra 5 years on top of your charge for assault. Or not just if you kill somebody, you got a life sentence. So my whole concept was to teach them, you know, this is not
better
how to
choices.
do it. Yeah, take better choices. This is not how you do it. You know, and it would be. They were more receptive for me coming from us, because we've been in for so long and have a life sentence that they say ain't nobody gonna listen to them but them guys. You know, the compound respect them, all of them. If they tell them one thing to do, they're gonna do it, because they are the ones who control everything. And that's how it went. And from there, the program started, nice. And then I got shipped.
Nice. So you started this program.
I know they're
there.
doing it to this day. I know this day got it going. I know it because it made perfect sense. I gave them 2 programs. I gave another program I said, anytime you get off the bus, every department, they have a psychology department, education department, and unicorn department. They have different departments. I said an inmate should be there to actually explain to the other inmates to get off the bus the ins and outs of the program. It shouldn't come from a staff member. It should come from an inmate, because they'd be more receptive to an inmate telling them versus a staff member.
That's true.
And they said, exactly right. We want that. We want to do that. They doing it to this day. I know they doing it to this day.
How do you know?
Because they started it then. It started it then, but at the same time, it's like, why would deviate from it? And it makes perfect sense. They want order at the penitentiary. They don't want disorder, because what? They got to do hard work. You know what the hard work is? Bringing us our lunch trays or dinner or breakfast, because we usually go to the child hall and get it. So now they got to work, meaning that they got to walk up the steps and take everybody their dinner, their lunch, their breakfast, lunch, and dinner around the clock. They don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. That's work. Now they get paid for work.
Wow.
I think we got to do a continuous.
Started this program.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think we got to do a
Tony,
continuous.
That is amazing. So you have this program that started, and that is still going on to this day. And this is a program that you
wrote up myself.
Wrote up, and you've went to the medium. From there, you went to the medium facility, and finally got that clemency. And how long were you at the medium facility, though?
1 whole year. 1 whole year was months. It was months. It's probably maybe 8 months, 9 months, something like that. It wasn't long.
And then that was it.
That was it. And it was so real. It was not real. I mean,
surreal.
Surreal, that's the word.
That's definitely right. Excuse me.
Because
definitely surreal to finally get the word and that. Yeah. What was exactly like? Paint me a picture of where exactly were you, and what was your mindset?
All right. Okay.
I'd like to see.
Okay. That morning that morning I got up.
What did the face look like? Did you?
No, I'm not tell you. When I got up that morning, I remember my name being announced on the loudspeaker to report to my case manager. So I come to her like, you know, it's normal. They do stuff like that. So I said, she said, hey, some lawyers can't call up here. They want to talk to you. They're gonna call back around 2:00, so you need to be here. I said, okay. I walked right back out. She knew what was going on. I didn't know. So I leave. So I would tell her, I said, man, I gotta come back at 2:00, man. My case manager want to see me. Like, all right. So I go back at 2:00 on the dot. So she said, I did early. You know, I like to be early.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, I do.
So I got there, and she said they're gonna call at 2:00. She said, I'm gonna sit you a chair right here. So when they call you, you can sit in here and talk to them. I'm gonna go ahead and step out. So they called. She said here, and she stepped out, and it was my lawyer. Like, hey Tony, how you doing? I said good. He said I got some good news and bad news. So the first thing I was like,
bad news.
Yeah, what's it? I said, what is it? He said the bad news is you got 30 more days in jail. I'm in prison, and the good news is you got clemency by Obama. I said that wasn't no bad news, and I just sit there and just like I was in the couldn't believe it. He's like tomorrow. He said right now. He said tomorrow it'll be publicly announced. He said, but I'm glad you got it, man. He said I'll talk to you later. He said, but 30 more days.
That's it.
30 more days. Yep. And I walked out of there. I didn't tell nobody because I didn't believe it. I didn't tell nobody.
Because you're like, this can't be.
Yeah.
No
it
way.
can't be that easy.
But the whole time, that's what's going through your mind.
Yeah. I didn't call my mom. Didn't call nobody. Nobody.
So nobody knew.
Nobody.
At what point did you say something?
When the people came to my door the next day and told me, you got clemency, man.
No.
Yeah, that's one.
Wait, the whole 30 days went by?
No. The first day.
Oh.
The next day.
I thought you meant the whole 30 days went by and you didn't tell anybody.
The lawyer told me on the phone, he said, it'll be publicly announced tomorrow. He said, so, you know, it'll be publicly announced. So that day, when I was told that, I didn't say anything about it.
Okay, because that day you were just like, I don't think so.
Right.
This is not happening.
Right.
And sure enough.
And when the guys came to me and all over, because there was so many out at my door at my unit, like, hey man, you got clemency, man, you got clemency, and that's when I knew it was real, because other people that
gotta be real.
Right, other newsletters had a copy of the list too from Obama, and they posted on their newsletter.
And you saw it.
And all the other inmates saw it who was subscribing to them.
Oh, they saw it.
Yeah.
So you were famous.
I guess. Every day, that day. Yeah. And when I got the letter when I went back there, when I actually went back there and got the letter from her, you know, from the White House, you know, with his signature on it, I understood it. I didn't see that first. I didn't see that day.
Wow.
I seen that the day I actually left.
From the White House.
Right.
You actually got the letter from the White House.
Right.
Signed by President Obama
right.
himself.
Exactly. Yeah. I seen that the day I left. The day I left, they gave it to me. Yeah. With a gold seal on it.
They handed it to you.
And they handed it to me. Yeah. I had to sign for it. Yeah.
So it had a gold seal.
Yeah. One day I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you.
You don't have to show it to me.
I want to show it to you anyway. You know.
I would love to see it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be like this. Look, you guys, look, this came from President Obama.
Yeah. You know what I always said too, though? I always said this too. Then we probably gonna try to do a part 2 because there's a lot of other stuff to talk about. But I always said this too. I said from 3 to 5 years, I see myself sitting down with President Obama because you want to see what's good you did, because everybody always talk what bad he did, and I look at myself as something good he did.
Oh gosh,
and
definitely,
and because you know you had other times you had other people who you gave clemency to that didn't do good, and then now you want to see, hey, I did do something good.
Mm-hmm.
Look what this young man did.
Because you are actually doing great things.
Right.
Now that from the second you walked out that door, you still continued this program.
Exactly.
Which you were telling me a little bit about is that you know, and so many kids I think need that, and you have dedicated your life.
Right.
really
Yep.
to helping. Now, what is the range of these kids
Until
that you kind of really mentor and help?
Okay. What I look at it from kindergarten on up, because I can even talk to a person that's way younger. I mean, way older than high school, because when a person want to be receptive, when they want to receive something, they can be any age, But it's just really. But my whole mentor program was based on kids in elementary school to high school, But I see myself talk to people outside of high school, because hey, if my life story can help you, and I can show you the path I took and now versus what I'm doing now, you'll listen to me, because hey, this guy did do these particular things, and look what happened now.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be like, I want to listen to everything you got to say. It might not resonate then that particular time, but a day later, a week later, or whatever case it may be, I'm going this way. I'm going to go exactly how he said do it.
You know what I would love? I would love to know when my other guest, Brandon, comes to the show. If I would love it if I could sit you both and have you both come and tell me about the projects
cool.
that you both have done.
We could do that
together, so that way I can get a chance to elaborate on that program.
Okay.
That we all have a sense of who you are, and I'd like to, and I'm sure Brandon won't mind, because you guys have this. These projects that you're working on that are just so phenomenal that I would like to spend a whole segment just talking about that. But I appreciate you just coming here and sharing your testimony. I know it blew me away. And just the fact that President Obama himself you got pardoned. Clemency. Pardon?
Pardon me, like.
What is the difference?
Okay, clemency say
that's not the same, right?
No, they're not the same. Clemency say, time up, you out. We just give
you got clemency.
Clemency.
Okay.
Right. Clemency.
Okay, so what's
pardon is saying like you didn't do the particular thing, and we pardon you from it. It's like you're not being charged from that no more. But clemency is saying that time served, you out here, you out.
Okay, so you actually got clemency, because time was served. You've done enough time because you served altogether, 19 years.
19 years, 8 months. Don't take it that way. 8 or 9 months.
Oh well, yeah, we cannot. No.
Almost 20 years.
Yeah, so 19 years and 9 months.
When you actually calculate the actual halfway house, you might as well say 20 years. Because being a part of halfway house was 3 months, but at the same time still attached to the Bureau of Prisons. So so we're gonna talk about some.
So all together it was
20 years.
20 years. Yeah, because there's some things that I wanted to ask about. Because as far as the prison's concerned, I know I was having conversations with some other colleagues of mine and talking about as far as why they hold people like yourselves in prison, and who's profiting from that, because you have to eat. The facility has to be ran, and where's this money coming from? Is it tax dollars? Is it I think those are some things that also we can address when Tony comes back to the show, because I would definitely love for you to come back and talk to us. Maybe you can come back. I would love for you and Brandon to both sit here and we kind of collabo and really have a good time and talk about those things in the projects because Brandon is actually, I believe he will be here next week. I believe I'll have to check my schedule, but I'll get in contact with you. So you are willing to come back and we'll elaborate on and keep the audience at suspense about, because you are doing some pretty great things. So Tony will be back, you guys, and to answer any questions that anybody else may have. He will be back, and I'm gonna drag him back. I'm gonna be calling him and tell him to come back when Brandon comes back, so we can talk to both of them, because Brandon also has pretty incredible life
story and the things that he's gone through. And so that would be great to have you both sitting in my living room and studio.
Yep.
And talk. So you guys, please stay tuned because Tony will be back with us, and you'll be able to ask him any kind of questions that you want. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and follow so you'll get all the notifications soon as I publish anything new. As always, you guys, until next time, bye.